Listen, the only way this thing will be official is if the people choose it. So that means share the show. I know what you're saying. You're saying it's Tuesday night. Why is Outlaw Radio on? Simply because we were not able to go on last night. We could have went on. I just chose not to. Just took a little mental break. But people, want to hear the show, and I actually don't think we'll be able to do a show tomorrow night. So this will probably be the only episode that we do this week of Outlaw Radio. So welcome to the show. It's Outlaw Radio. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the host of Outlaw Radio, known in some circles as the Negro Whisperers and in others as the world-class smart ass, which just means I specialize in talking a bunch of schmiggity schmack, right? As they would say in the 70s. But normally we're on Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, until whenever I choose to cut the machine off. And it depends on how organic the conversation gets. So it's Outlaw Radio. The number, which is scrolling slowly across the bottom of the screen, is 262-202-5131. Once again, that's 262-202-5131. The Cash App is also there. If you want apparel, the best way to get it is to send me your order and then Cash App me the bread. I see Dion in the chat room right away. My brother Dion, how you doing? I got my partner with me tonight. Fonzarelli, what it do? What it do? What it do?
Chilling, man. Just getting it cracking for this evening. Just got finished practice dancing with my lady. We've been trying to learn this Detroit ballroom shit.
Oh, okay. Quality time. How was your weekend, bro? How was your weekend? I know it's Tuesday. I was just explaining. We didn't do a show last night, and we probably won't do one tomorrow because I got plantation duties. So I just figured, well, let's pop on a Tuesday. How was your weekend?
It was cool, man. Started these batches of wine, so I got an apple cinnamon wine going. I got a white grape wine and a purple grape wine. So just getting shit cracking for the holidays.
There you go, man. There you go. And in case people have not noticed, these seasons, they are changing. The leaves will be gone pretty soon, momentarily, as they say. Ewok in the building. Welcome back, my brother. My brother Ewok back. He said he's back, man. Ewok had some downtime. I want to put his business on the air. Always in my prayers. I'm glad you bounced back like 2-3, did 4-5. That was one of my favorite what's his name? Sean. What's the little dude with our Detroit name? I don't fuck with you. What's his name?
I was about to say Sada.
Nah, Big Sean. He said bounce back like on the song Bounce Back. He said I bounced back like 2-3, did 4-5, and then I understand it's Jordan coming back from number 23 to 45, and it's also 1-2-3 and then 4-5. So you just keep going. Maybe I overanalyzed that. Eagle Shaw, what it do? What it do, my brother?
Peace.
Who is also the proprietor of Eagle Eye Security LLC, who's our sponsor for the show. Give it up for that, brother. And I absolutely applaud him because he is a brother who has a vision and who has a tremendous amount of hustle, and he understands how things should be marketed. So he reached out to me and offered his help. And man, I appreciate everything he's done. I think it's given the show a good look. We got more work to do, so we'll link up. Man, how y'all doing out there, man? Like I said, my weekend was smooth. No Packer game, just laid back, just chilling. My son had a football game. There was no shooting this time in Milwaukee, right? Except for them, getting their ass whooped. But that's a whole other story. I have to honestly give it up to my son, though, because my son has had, for all intents and purposes, a pretty good season. And I've waited until we put everybody put their kids' highlights up, and they were losing. So I'm like, all right, well, but he maintained focus. Got his last game this week. He has made a lot of nice plays. And when you watch this kid on film, you wouldn't realize he's only 5'9", 250 pounds. I mean, 100. I'm sorry, 5'9", 5'10-ish, 155 pounds. This little dude is, and he go hard, man. He come up on smack. He got. I'm telling you, when I put the highlights up, you'll see him smacking people, flipping them, and as a father, you say, yeah, yeah, that's me right there. That's me right there, right? It's one of them proud moments. Well, I know you know what I'm talking about, right? You a pappy.
Yeah, my boy Hoop, he liked hooping.
Oh yeah.
He still hoop. Actually, he done graduated high school, but now he be in them other leagues that people be in, like them grown folk leagues and
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
I think out in Oak Creek.
Yeah, and the most beautiful thing is once again, my son plays basketball too. So, unfortunately, this football season, the team is absolutely horrid. Not all their faults, things to take care of. But he has basketball season coming up because he also happens to be a very nice point guard. So, I always had to rock with him, man. That's my little dude to keep a prayer over him when he out there in the land of giants, getting that combat in. So shout out to little Kev, man. It was parents night, parents day. My wife and I walked him out, It was crazy. It was a good experience, man. Life be coming full circle as you get older and you start to see your kids passing certain milestones. You start to be like, damn, what I just had little shorties, right? Like, nah, cat voice deep now, So my daughter calling home from college, dad send me some money, right? It's like, whoa, I done fucked around, got old, man. But yeah, man, I'm no different from anybody else, man. The silver hairs.
Blessings.
Yeah, man. Real honestly, I look at age I look at it in a weird way because yeah, there's a lot of reminiscing of when you was young and fancy free and things moved a lot faster because you didn't know no better. As you get older, things you don't get slower the way you see things. You process better, quicker, faster. So situations go off slower. When you're young, it's pow, pow, pow. So, but I'm not one who, I wish I was still, I don't wish youth. I don't wish for it. I wish my body was still as strong as I was when I was a youngster, obviously, but I look at aging as a blessing. I'm glad I've been here this whole time for him from, a little jit up to now. So hopefully I got some time left. But not to get depressing, this Outlaw Radio, the War Report tonight, the War Report. And so I wanted to discuss some things that could possibly be pertinent to foundational Black Americans. And that's what we do on Outlaw Radio. So you wonder, what the fuck is this shit? What is Kev talking about? Well, we just talk about, to make it simple, we talk about shit that matters to Black people. Okay. And I'm not talking about fickle, shallow, weak-minded, fad, clout chasing, faddish. Nah, I'm talking about, socioeconomic situations and socio-political perspectives, as well as religious and scientific, metaphysical. All this shit gets approached on the show, man. You think I'm jacking? Listen to the show, man, and watch how the conversation steadily evolves. And if you want to get involved, the chat room is always popping. And there's a number, once again, 262-202-5131. So just the war report. I know it's Tuesday night. I don't want to really hold people long. I just want to hold up, wait a minute, let's put some outlaw in it. There's a skirmish. Well, it's actually a war. Israel has declared war on Hamas. And please, if you out there and you know about this and because I know a lot of people who listen to Outlaw Radio are so informed, let's put it out here so that people can understand. Because a lot of Black people, shit ain't happening. It ain't happening here. It ain't on the east side. Fuck it then. You know what I mean? Like, war anywhere affects almost everything everywhere else. In particular, Israel. I want to know, do my people understand the significance of Israel? Real, do you know the significance of Israel?
On what, like from what perspective? You mean from a biblical perspective?
No. Just in terms of this world where we at right now, what is Israel?
Shit, they've been pimping us for quite some time.
Okay.
A lot of the Zionists usually justify our constantly giving them aid and shit by the Bible, but when you actually talk to people from over in that area, they give you a different perspective. You know, I think it was Malcolm X that said the media will have you hating the victim and praising the villain type shit. Not
Okay.
saying that they victim or villain, but I know when you talk to other people that actually are in that area, they talk about how they gotta get their kids water. They got parasites and shit swimming in it. But then you look over the wall into the Israel area, and they got private pools and shit like that. So
Okay. And all of this is for a reason, though. All of this is for a reason. The reason being that this is the Jewish independent state, the country. This
yeah,
is what Jews, who we refer to as Jews in America. This is a country, if you will, given to them
right,
by the United States and then backed up by them being allowed to join the United Nations after World War II. Let's
right.
create a free state for Jewish people because they've been displaced by this Holocaust, right? Jewish people in America hold heavy, 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 heavy sway. We know this. Look at anybody who speaks against a Jewish person in this country. They are instantaneously destroyed, blackballed, ostracized, whatever would have you, all those good action verbs, right? So when we talk about in America, Jewish people hold some very important positions in business, finance, law, the law, uh, the medical field, big time tax. They work with the money. So if we're talking about Israel being at war with Hamas, who, by the way, just happens to represent the group of people that were on this land when they decided that a portion of this was holy land biblically. Okay. And so it's an America situation where Columbus comes in and says, this is my shit,
Type shit.
right? Even though we don't even know where he was at. His ass is probably in Hawaii. Whatever. The English who come behind him, right? The Pilgrims, the Quakers. Look, we got a new country. It's already people here. Fuck them. That's pretty much what the
Right.
Jewish people did to the Palestinian people. And so forever there's been this back and forth between the Arabs who are Islamic and the Jewish people. And so this is a long skirmish, but there's been attacks for years and years and years and bombings and what they would define as terrorist attacks. But I guess Hamas turned it up a notch. As they say, they got litty. They put some heinous attacks, executed some heinous attacks against Israel recently, and hundreds of people lost their lives. They say even 14 Americans were killed. They in turn declared war on Hamas. So now we got Russia and Ukraine who's still fighting, and we got Israel and Hamas. In between this, there's two U.S. backed in like engagers, right? There's Israel, who we've always backed heavily through our whole weight, what you refer to as Zionists. A lot of people don't know what a Zionist is.
Mm-hmm.
Go look it up. It is an individual who
Look up
supports.
John Hagee. I
Look up
used to
Barack
listen to John
Obama.
Hagee all the time, man, and he always talked about how America must stand with the children of Israel.
Yes.
To
Look at
give them
Barack
praise and
Obama, right?
glory.
My father, who was a very religious man, used to explain to me that there were lost tribes of Jews. And I do believe that one of the lost tribes was, I guess, described as the most persecuted group of individuals on this earth. And my father would always say he believed that black people were a lost tribe of Jews. And so that's neither here nor there, but I'm just saying because they ain't set us up with no independent state. I guess people can say, well, y'all had Detroit. Well, that don't really count. Okay, we talking about a country, military. Like I've always asked people, like when something happens between, the Palestinians, freedom fighters, or the PLO, or now I guess it's Hamas, the retribution would be instant, and the Israeli army would have advanced weaponry that the United States has. Like, oh, they executed a terrorist this week with a pinpoint laser bomb. Like, how they get that shit? How you think they got it? Right? Of course, their membership in the United Nations is critical to that too. But and people don't, if you don't understand the United Nations and all this kind of these different kinds of organizations that are supposed to regulate global, relations or I guess mediate government relations, negotiate, whatever you would have it, whatever you would call it. So my thing is this an opportunity because the United States could possibly get dragged into this heavily? And of course, President Biden has said, we will stand. This is a tragedy. It was a tragedy how many people were killed. 14 Americans were killed. How many people did we lose this summer in Milwaukee?
Man, shit.
Americans.
Shit, they don't give Hawaii as much coverage as they give this shit or the Ukraine.
Hawaii burnt down. It says send them a care package. I don't know, whatever aid was, I don't want to.
I just hope they don't be talking about sending more money. Like what?
Well, no, that's coming. A $1 billion aid package is coming.
When I hear this shit, it's like, oh, here come more money laundering.
Yep.
More robbery. Because what they say, inflation. $233 million per day to the Ukraine.
Come on, man.
How fucking much more?
And why? And why?
Per day.
Why? Why? Why are we helping Ukraine? Somebody who's politically savvy out there, please tell me. The War Report tonight on Outlaw Radio. War in the Ukraine, war in Israel now in the Gaza Strip. And this is war. This ain't just, we're going to retaliate for a terroristic. This is war. And they're saying that they've been pounding key locations steadily because, once again, they're backed by the United States and the United Nations. This is, and come on, man, you think Jewish people in this country are going to allow us to sit back and watch Israel fight their own battle? Of course not. Of course not. We're going to be drawn into this. What we need to say to President Biden right now is, bruh, we don't want in on nobody's wars. We got rampant poverty in our fucking country. And you want to send millions of dollars over? First of all, let me tell you something about the Ukraine is a place where neo-Nazism and fascism is cool as fuck. If you don't remember, they wouldn't even let the Africans on the train when they was first getting. No, you get your black ass back. The Ukrainians don't like us. Why are we helping them? Why are they the new refugees? At the same time, you got a flood of Mexican immigrants, 3,000 alone in Chicago at the police station. So he want to jump down and say, okay, let's go help Israel. I think it's time for us to say, bro, we ain't cool on this war shit. Because, if we get down to it and it ain't enough of them to go, what do they do? Right? I don't want to say the D word. Paris, you're right. It's Tuesday night. We didn't. I took a reflection day yesterday. Just a little, woosop moment.
I watched the Packer game,
man. What's going on, man?
Hey, I was watching the Packer game yesterday.
Me too. Absolutely. Watching the Packer game, win or lose. You know what we do. How you doing, man? How you doing tonight?
Right.
I think we got a delay, Kamar.
How y'all doing, man?
Reset your modem. I think we got a delay.
I'm all right, man. I was knocked out. Hey, listen, man. I was taking one of them naps. You know what I mean? Hey, look, I was taking one of them naps. Woke up.
Okay.
Looked on Facebook. I seen you and Real on Facebook. Like, hold on, man. Let me find my thing.
Oh, shit.
I missed the group chat.
Oh, shit. A lot going on, man. I see you got your Ike Turner on, so it's all good. Hey, make sure you ain't got no delay though, Kamar. I know when your computer need to warm up. So I think we got a little delay. Let's just make sure we take care of that so we can hear the witch doctor, y'all.
Cool.
Deborah Jenkins. Oh yes, Mama Jenkins. She said, "Good evening, my outlaws. Let's make it do what it do. I'm so happy to see y'all tonight. We're happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. I wish I could do this every day and get paid to do it. I really do. Unfortunately, I told y'all, man, I got cotton to pick sometimes. I got to get out there and I be out plowing in the field behind the mule. I work on the plantation, baby. Listen, Eagle Eye. He said, "Help Ukraine and fuck everyone at home. It's all a game." Thank you, sir. He said, "Democrats always set us back. Republicans, I don't know. I think they both do the same thing. I've yet to see evidence where either one of those parties have elevated us collectively. Now, I mean, because I feel like when Republicans are in office, it's like a fuck you to black people a lot of times, except for the ones that will sip the Kool-Aid with them. And don't get me wrong, I like brothers like E.N.C. Jordan and other brothers who I've spoken with that are they vote more on the conservative side, on the right. I have gotten a better understanding of some of their arguments, against Democratic policies. I feel like a lot of Democrats just pander for votes and then do what the fuck they want to do, i.e. the same thing that Republicans do. It's all the same. That's why we're the party poopers. We poop on both parties because their treatment of us has been egregious. Egregious. How many syllables in that? Egregious. That's 3. Man, I'm up there tonight. I'm scholarly tonight. Y'all call in, man. Y'all let us know. It's the War Report, man. We talking about these skirmishes overseas that we're getting involved in at a time when poverty is super high in our country. Inflation is going crazy, right? A goddamn value meal ain't no value meal no more.
Right.
Value meal cost you $13. We might as well go sit down and eat. Remember, you said I don't feel like spending a whole lot of money. If we going out to eat, let's just grab some Mickey D's or something. Shit, pull out that driveway with 3 kids. You done spend $70. You might as well took your ass to Applebee's.
Right.
And at least had a doggy bag. You know what I mean? So at this time now, military weapons manufacturing is a very profitable business.
Right.
How many black weapons contracting companies are there? I'd like to know. At one point there was an aerospace place on Capitol Drive, right off 27th. Eaton, I believe they made some systems for some missiles, and they hit it. They got up out the city. So there's not a whole lot of us involved in that, and that's big money. You think those missiles they drop? Those missiles usually are worth a couple $1 million a piece. The big boy, right? That's some expensive ass fireworks. Now, if we giving some to Israel. We're doing it. Hey, take a few. We got enough. Take a few of these $1 million missiles and fire on their ass. I think anytime, and I hate to say this, shout out to my cousin, Mariah Johnson. How you doing? Little cuz? How you doing?
Peace.
It almost makes us an enemy of a whole group of people. If you're a fundamental Islamic, kind of, you hate America. and I hear a lot of people saying, well, they hate us because they hate our freedom. No, they hate us because of our Zionist support, our global support of Israel.
Right.
Listen, man, you can't just walk up in somebody's house and take their shit. There are some people who are not going to take that land down. And obviously the Palestinians have fought this from 1948 when this was recognized as, an entity up until now. It's never stopped. The declaration of war only means, hey, U.S., let us get a few jets and a few tanks. I mean, we went to sending shit over to Ukraine. I don't understand what's wrong with the United States saying, hey, man, y'all going to have to handle your own shit. We got some economic shit going on over here in our country we need to handle. Holler at us in about 3-4 years. I don't understand what's wrong with that. But it's the connection, honestly, to tell you the truth, is the ultimate example of white privilege. Because we don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, hold on. Just let me make this point real. People don't understand. For years and years and years, civil war ravaged Africa. The Rwandans, the Zulus, the Tutsis. They murdered each other, murdered villages, kids, children. What did the United States do?
Shit.
Not a goddamn thing. We are the world. We are the chick. Get that shit out of here. Ukraine get bombed.
Nigga
Shit,
strong.
it's aid on the way the next day. That's the point I was trying to make. Go ahead, Rel.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good. I mean, we know like the reason. I mean, it's all them like again, we go back to what they say about the white death rate, how they or the negative birth rate they have. So in order to not be I guess minority in the US, they have to have honorary white folks. So that's why they shipping them in by the boatload
I'm
from
sorry, you
either
call them honorary white folks.
yeah, I mean from the Ukraine, from Afghanistan. 'Cause I told you when I talked to those people, they're from the Middle East, but they claim white. I'm white. They like that ain't like a color. That ain't that it's damn near like a class. So they consider themselves
It is.
white type shit.
In as
So
much as that black is more of a cultural thing, because we're not black, but
right.
I feel like culturally, well, for me, I'm speaking for me. I don't want
Yeah.
nobody to go to yelling at me. Y'all know how Outlaw Radio get, but for Kev, god damn it. To me, it represents my culture. And I said, what's your I'm a black man. My culture is black. So no, go ahead.
No, and you're right, but to the world's perspective, is white and black. White is the class everybody wants to be who ain't black or American.
Non-melanated people.
And black is everything you want to avoid if you're a foreigner coming to America. But it just reminds me of how Rome fell. You remember they fell because they spent so much money and power trying to extend their empire and reach to the point where home fell apart.
Home fell apart. Yes.
So we seeing the same shit. I mean, there's a quote that say, "Give them bread and circuses, and they will not revolt." So instead of coliseums, now we got stadiums and arenas and shit. While the same shit is going on.
Right. I just think Rome, and I don't know. I've done some reading on Rome, and I don't know because I wasn't there, but I don't think Rome was as diverse as America is. And I think that just by having us here, this might sound goofy to some people. The fact that we live here will keep this country from falling.
Yeah.
Because we are a blessed people, right? We are people of God, black people. It's look at us. Nobody has what we have. And I don't think anywhere where we are ever at could totally fall. People might say, look at our community. It's falling apart. Well, the system that they put in place is actually working. I don't like people say the system doesn't work. Well, it actually does.
Indeed.
Because it's meant to disenfranchise you or subjugate you if you are of weak mind or you're susceptible. Maybe you're a victim of chemical dependence. Maybe you're so traumatized that you can't move forward. Then the system is set up to just handle you like it handles you. It makes you dependent on it, whether or not you're living in incarceration or if you're living off the system and in the free world. You got food share, you got W-2, you got every kind of free, you're sucking on the tit.
That make you scared to achieve because you don't want to lose your benefit.
You don't want to lose what you got.
I talk to them every day.
Fear of the unknown. Yes, sir. Eagle Eyes, he said, yep, I used to well at Eden. They out in Waukesha now. Yeah, they bounced. Fuck up out of here. We out of here. Dion said I'm a nigga, Kev. You got that option. I've never taken that. Listen, that's how. See, once again, I'm one of them brothers who I'm not gonna waste time arguing with another man about how he defines himself.
Right.
That's the dumbest shit in the world. Like people say, Kev, I ain't black. I say, well, that's cool.
Right.
If I say, what up, my nigga? Say, man, don't call me nigga. That's cool. I'm not going back and forth with you. Right.
I'm not black. I'm OJ.
Right. Okay. There go your boy. There go your man, Jay-Z. That's your man, Jay-Z. Come on. It's your man's, yo. But yeah, man. So no, we got to pay attention to what this war. At a certain point, America has to say, enough is enough. Look, we got so many economic problems here. And I know to a certain percentage of people, it may not look that way. But I don't want people to get so high on their horse that they don't understand that the more you manufacture poverty and poor people, the higher crime will be. because they will always take what they can from who they can. And if your ass is in the way, as my mother used to say, your ass go when the wagon come too, meaning you will get touched. Okay. So it would be in our best interest to try and curb poverty, because if the economy was popping and we talked about middle class the other night and on last Wednesday show, dope show, by the way, go back and check that show out. It was called Fighting Words. We talked about the middle class and how you define yourself based on your median income and what you make. What are the thresholds of the middle class? And so they said in Milwaukee, it's from $39,000 per year to 92 being the higher end of your upper middle class. If your median income, you and your peoples together. So we talked about that. So if the higher your tax bracket, and the more you start really saying, I'm going to fuck with this money, the more you have to pay attention to global politics, like these war efforts and shit. Because when they blow money, they got to make more money because they actually print it. And what that does is that drives inflation up.
Right.
That's why you see gas $7 a gallon. What the fuck? They got to print some more money. They done printed too many dollar bills, the value dropping worldwide. The dollar used to dominate the global economy in terms of its value. It was more valuable than a peso, than a ruble, than a pound, and in some and the yen in Asia, and in some countries it's overtaken the dollar bill now. So all this basically means for people who still don't get it is what used to cost $1 will cost $2 when inflation is up, and so on and so on and so forth. So we have to pay attention to this type of shit because we know the United States has had a history of sticking their nose in things they ain't had no business and then getting everybody involved, i.e. Vietnam, right? Say Muhammad Ali saying, no Viet Cong ever called me nigga, and he was absolutely right. What was our quarrel? The craziest part is that when the black soldiers in Vietnam had to deal with the Viet Cong dropping like little leaflets down from their planes that said black man go home.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine being right, but why are you over here fighting for this country? Can you imagine being a brother out in the 120-degree jungle with shit crawling on you and people shooting, and you look at this pamphlet and they say, why are you here? You had to say, why the fuck am I here? I can't even go in the fucking front door of most places at home. It's mind-boggling. Things have changed. So shout out to anybody who's in the military right now. Do your thing, man. My family, my mom she just forbid me from going to the military. And she just told me that there's no way I would ever let you go. I would ever let you go to the military. Some people say I went anyways. I was still my mama's son. I wasn't gonna do nothing that she told me not to do, because she just explained it to me about her upbringing in the cotton fields of Mississippi and then the horrors that she had experienced from Jim Crow racism and even institutionalized racism in Milwaukee. She said, there's no way your black ass should be over there. You go get you an education, bring your ass home, get you a job, get you some money. Fuck that shit. And she put it just like that. I had an Air Force recruiter come to the house and she let him have it. And he told her, well, he's 18. He can make his own decision. That's something you don't tell my mama. You standing on our porch talking about I can't even remember all the cuss words she said to that man. He left. Thought it was Ukraine coming to attack and shit. I don't know. Damn it. But yeah, man, it's the war report. If you know anything about this conflict that I didn't cover, and I know a lot of us over the years have paid attention to Israel. I have in particular, because I've always said, wait a minute, why are they top notch? Why do they get, you know what I mean? Like they got the same shit we got. And then once I started to read into it, I said, oh, okay.
Right.
Well, right. So now you see what our main issue is in the Middle East, right? Because Arabs and Arab Muslims are like, yo, you support this? Go do your research on it, man. You know what I mean? And when you talk about Zionists, that's why people label Obama a Zionist, because Obama continued the trend of America making sure Israel was good first. If it said bombs, send the drones, That's why you hear people say Obama bombed women and children. Because the one thing that the president of the United States actually controls is the military. A lot of people don't know that. They think that the president can just snap his fingers and get anything done. No, he's called the commander in chief because he's over the military. So nothing that the military does, if he say don't do it, it ain't happening. Right? Okay. So when you say, okay, they flew some drones and they looking for a terrorist and they blew up 2 square blocks, you see, then you see Middle Eastern people coming out of rubble with their babies and all that. Mm-hmm. On their side of the planet, when they watch the news, they say, look at what the fuck the United States did to us. That's why they hate us. Right? And so you got to pay attention to it, man. It is the War Report on a Tuesday night. I know we're not here on Tuesdays. I just felt like I want to talk to my people tonight. Y'all need to talk back, get in this chat room, share the show, share the show, share the show, share the show. Let's get the numbers up. That's the point of us doing it. We want the show to be visible. I would like for everyone in Milwaukee to really just jump in on Outlaw Radio. You say, yeah, man, and last night you were talking about just I wanted to just be the platform for the 414. And I know it's wishful thinking. But, you know, if you ain't striving to be the best, how the fuck are you playing? Just put the controller down and let somebody else play. Hey, listen, something else happened too. And I'm glad I got Rail here tonight to talk about this one. And once again, it's crazy how things happen when we talk about certain topics on Outlaw Radio, and then soon thereafter, something crazy happens. I don't know if I'm not saying that if we didn't talk about it, it wouldn't have happened, but it's just such a coincidence that most of the time when we approach a topic, and I'm talking about Sexy Red. Okay, the sex tape. Did y'all see the sex tape? Did anybody see the sex tape? Sexy Red sex tape.
I ain't see about it. I ain't see it, but I heard Corey Hoke and them say, "Hey, her booty hole ain't brown, it's black, and her pussy is definitely brown."
Yes, I want to talk about this, and people
I didn't see it though.
Well, I seen it. I seen it. Okay, and once again, I don't know what color. I don't. First of all, my understanding that nothing should be pink on the outside. I don't know if people actually have ever. I don't know what their level of experience is.
Well, you know they comedians, you know
right?
What I mean?
And so
just funny. It was just funny.
It's just locker room humor, and then there's like a lot of people because it's 2 different schools. There's people who are saying, you know, aha, that's what she get, right? Because you know she's this sex positive female who makes these songs. We call it ratchet rap, and it's the new blaxploitation film. It's the new ghetto gangster rap. It's the new scourge of the black community, which makes it hotter. Right? It's the new drill music. The more we hate it, the more popular it gets. And so allegedly somebody who she was dealing with put this on her Instagram. I don't really use Instagram. I go on there.
How they get on her Instagram?
This is where we don't know. I don't know how this individual put it on her page and shared it on her live feed. I guess there's hackers out here who have like, you know, the dark web and all this. I don't know. Not affiliated with any
niggas ain't going to that extent.
Just for her. Well, no, maybe they want to know if it was brown or pink. I don't.
Hey, you know what, Kev? The problem is, you know what I mean? You look at the lifestyle, the music that she make. Like, it really make nobody not give a fuck about being sensitive to her situation. You know what I'm saying? She fucking with a sucker, first of all, to leak the tape, if the nigga leaked the tape. You know what I mean?
He had on ankle bracelet.
It leaves little room, you know what I mean, to feel sorry for.
Yes. I just don't think, once again, I just don't think because a female presents in a certain way. First of all, she's a rapper, right? Like sensationalism is the name of the game. I don't think she deserves to be, you know, exploited in any way, but it looks funny. And it looks like maybe this was done as an inside job to boost her career. Allegedly, I don't know, but I just know people have no compassion because of her line of her topic matter, what she talks about in her song, in her raps, which I've said many times. I think men we've done the same thing. for the better part of the last 35 years in rap music. And I was listening to Rock the Bells radio, and they had a whole show dedicated to Luke and his Miami movement. And it was like I never found a whole lot of value sonically in Two Live Crew's music. And I know it may be a regional thing. I never found, like, I can make an old school playlist right now and there would be no Two Live Crew on it. Because I just didn't, and people say, well, what about Doodoo Brown in the birthday? Well, you at a party, you in the club? Absolutely. But in terms of me riding around in the whip, pulling up talking about, hey, we want some. No, I wasn't, it just wasn't my flavor. But the sexual, just the talk and all of this it's as dirty, if dirtier than anything Sexy Red or Lotto or whoever these young girls is Suki. Luke and them said some shit that was way worse than anything they're saying. And so I don't think we should shame young ladies now for realizing, hey, I can get a couple mil from doing this. As long as you can deal with this, and once again, did she do it herself to boost her? Everybody, the Kim Kardashian effect.
Right.
It's not lost on people how Kim Kardashian actually became a celebrity who really pioneered this thing, and she just became famous for being famous. She wasn't an actress, she wasn't a singer, she wasn't a dancer. She was just a socialite who hung around, NBA players and rappers, I guess. And so, but she came from a blue blood family. Her father was one of OJ's attorneys, right? So she came from money, and she's white by definition, but I guess they're Slavic or something, or Eastern European. What are they? I don't know.
Her father, I believe, was Armenian.
Armenian. That's what it is. They're Armenian.
I don't think the mama Armenian. I think she just like a regular white lady, ain't she?
She's from Ohio. I don't know where she's from. I'm not as up on my white people as I should be. I learned that from the whole Taylor Swift thing, and they was like, Taylor Swift is an NFL game, and I'm like, who's Taylor Swift? It's just sad on my part, I guess. So Ace Cooley is jumping in. He says booty music was meant to trigger women that had no self-control. Basically, those who had daddy issues that sought attention. Well, so was Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. Right? Like, so was, how many songs, R&B songs where, down and dirty. Talking about I wanna do something freaky to you. Leon Haywood.
It always have been, raunchy music like that through all the years. You know what I mean? All way before hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But even still, like, even back then, it was people who looked down on it.
This is true. Come on, yeah.
Everybody wasn't with the show. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, with some of these girls that's rapping, it's like they disrespecting themselves.
Are they though?
In a lot of sense, man.
Was Too Short disrespecting himself?
Too Short wasn't talking about his booty hole.
Well, he talked about his penis a lot though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just, devil's advocating. Because you say, well, they
do that if you like.
If you please. Oh, I understand. Carry on, please. Carry on.
Yeah, carry on.
Right. No, I'm just saying, like, because I heard Luke and them on their song talk about booty stuff. And so were they we didn't say, oh, they disrespecting themselves.
And then, you can't knock how society gonna look at people. You know what I mean? You gotta take it. If you really give a fuck, you gotta take accountability for that, or take not accountability. Well, yeah, you gotta take accountability for that too.
Yeah, society, there's always gonna be people say that's wrong. Don't do that. Like, don't, yeah. But once you put it out there, it's out there. So when public opinion is, all publicity is good publicity. Shout out to Ruben Anderson. He said, I find women calling themselves bitch. Women call each other. That's part of their lexicon now, where they say bitch. And you know what? Honestly, when I see two females communicating like that, it kind of bothers me. because to me it says something about how they move. Well, bitch,
Hey,
and I'm like, what?
see, and that's kind of like the same thing with the music what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
It say a lot about how they move.
It does. And when I see Sexy Red with this glue on wig with the rhinestones and tattoos all on her face, and it's like, yo, that says that you are in like a certain lifestyle. What do we just say about people, this system not being broken? It does what it's supposed to do for people who are forced to live in these like, you poor, you come from nothing, you have your family, and there's no old money, there's no investment, there's no 3-4 generations of incarceration and dysfunction. And so they become dependent on the system. They wear cheap wigs because they have to, because they can't afford the good shit. But now that's the stylish look. And I'm saying they're cheap. I don't think they're cheap at all. I take that back. A said Too Short is from the land of pimping. They were going to make money off insecurity, sex sales, Kev. I'm not naive enough to not understand that. Hell, the porn industry is still $1 billion business, even though it's gone from theaters to VCRs to DVDs to now the internet. It's still $1 billion business, right? And so I understand sex sales. Look, I don't have any problem with anybody expressing their sexuality or what they like to do or anything like that, as long as I got the option to turn it off.
Right.
I feel like if I turn something on and say, oh shit, okay, this ain't for me. Boop, as long as I can turn the station. Now, if that was force fed into me all day, I'd have a problem with that. Like, what the fuck? I don't want to hear. That's what listening to V100 is like and shit. They force it in your head. He said the land of pimping. Oakland, California. We've talked about pimping on the show. Ironically, I told y'all this show kind of covers a whole plethora. We've talked about the principles behind prostitution. Pimping is just one part of prostitution. People think pimping is prostitution. Pimping is just one part, because you have madams who ran brothels for years, and
indeed, still
they
do.
don't have a brothel ball or a madam's ball, right? Like women don't get the credit, like the glory that men get. He's pimp. He's in the 70s with his big ass hat in front of his car and all that. And I just, that's what I'm saying. Pimps are just one part. It's like lawyers are one part of the legal system, a very important part, but just a part nonetheless. There's many ways people can be prostituted without it being a pimp with a big ass hat and some stacks on behind them, right? Like there's, especially now, it's many different levels to it. So no, I don't have a problem with somebody being sexual. I just think if I got my kids around and you insist on being inappropriate, then I'll just remove myself from. I'm going to talk to your manager. That cashier over there was being sexual. I'm just not. Come on, y'all. Let's get out of this line. This ain't for us. Damn, girl. See, I got my babies here. It's like, do what you do. It's once again, it's one of those things where it ain't what you do, is how you do it. So, but yeah, sex absolutely sells. I get that. And maybe that's the principle that Sexy Red is looking at when she put her sex tape out there. If she did it. Do you think she did it herself, Real? I mean, you know a little bit more about the internet and Instagramming than me. Do you think she did it?
I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, infamy is way quicker and way more powerful than fame nowadays. And I look at it like the average rapper now, if they are smart, they're gonna diversify their investments.
Okay.
So I mean, she hangs with or she did songs with Suki. And I know Suki got her own OnlyFans because there are people who like her on the rapping tip. And there are people who are willing to pay extra to see another aspect of her life that's
right.
still
and pay handsomely.
Right. And it's still a part of her. It's just a part of her that you have to pay to get access to. So I wouldn't be surprised if she did it trying to kickstart her OnlyFans or something like that. I didn't have a problem with it. Like I seen it like a month or two ago at first, because there was two parts. There was the part where she kind of telling the dude he got a spit started.
What?
And then there's the part where they actually fucking.
And that's bad. Hey, and that's a bad thing if you got a spit started.
Yeah, so that's the one everybody seen about a month ago, and they were like, "Damn,
I didn't see this shit. I'm old. I didn't see.
Oh, you ain't see that one? So you just seen the one with her looking like she gone off a pill?
I've never. Is that how you look when you going off a pill? I'm becoming
shit,
more
she
and
looked
more
like she
square
was
as the
going
show
off a
goes
pill
on.
or something.
Listen. I'm more like I'm okay. I go to media takeout in the morning. Like it's like my morning paper. I'll go to media takeout and gossip just to see what's going on with celebrities. A lot of the stuff I don't click on. I just go past it because I don't care about no housewives. I don't care about the latest celebrity who cheating rumor, like none of that. I don't, unless it's like Big Daddy Kane said fuck Slick Rick, then I'd be like, oh shit, let me check this out. That's how old I am. or DMC is on there saying, I remember Ron used to get high on tour and did it. I'm gonna check this out, but I don't usually click. But I seen somebody put up a meme about Sexy Red and the sex tape. So I said, oh, okay, it was on media takeout. So and the point ain't I'm too old to get really hype about a sex tape, right? But I'm looking at the patterns because of young girls, once again, and I do the same thing with our rappers now. We see the influence that a lot of the music, it's not the cause of the why children behave the way they do, but it is influential. It don't hurt when you got a soundtrack for your own movie, right? Like when you say, oh man, I did that shit just like so and so said on the song, right? That's part of being young, and that happens to every generation. That's why you had hippies who was doing acid and all kinds of psychedelic drugs because the musicians was doing it and they knew it and they could tell by listening to the music and so on and so on and so forth. At one point we was walking around with big fat fake gold chains, and then we went from that to African medallions, and then from there we went back to herringbones and gold chains because that's what the music, that's what the culture, that's what the art, that was the the norm of the day. So I understood all that. I just thought,
hey, look, and that's another reason why, for us to really talk about how foul some of this music is.
okay.
Like, I think it makes sense. I mean, it's okay if some people like it and shit like that. I ain't knocking them, but I just feel like if this is how I feel like I should be speaking on it.
You know what I feel like right now?
I'd like the world to evolve into a world what I like to see. You know what I mean? So I got to put my energy out there like that. My thought.
Okay.
I ain't saying it's gonna change shit, but you know what I mean. This just like my part.
No doubt. I would say this, Kumar. I would hope that with all of the talk about brown booty holes and pink coochie holes and suck this and lick that and eat this and eat that, I hope people are saying to young people who live in Milwaukee, number one, we have a very, very high STD rate in Milwaukee. Syphilis has run rampant in Milwaukee for some years. Gonorrhea, people don't understand. You got to look at, the reports.
And it's something that she glorified too. That gonorrhea, she had gonorrhea.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like that's what I'm saying. Come on, like it's like
and that shit ain't cool. You know what I mean? Like these kids, it's something they got something what they got going on now. I think they call it something like soul searching or soul bonding or some shit like that.
Soul ties.
Soul ties, yeah, something where they eating the woman out on her period and shit.
Okay.
Oh no, that soul ties something.
No, so I was about to say soul ties is a whole different
it's
concept.
Some shit they got where they saying that, like, you know what I mean, in the high school.
Soul snatching, I guess. I don't know. I
don't know what it's called, but it's something about a man eating a woman out on her period.
Okay, well, you know.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's just horrible, dog. Like this, and this music is influencing it, I feel like.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely influential. I don't think it's the real cause, but
right, exactly.
There's an argument that it plays a part, and I understand that.
Because if some shit going on in your community, then you hear a song about it. You know what I mean? That's almost like validation. You know what I'm saying?
In a certain way, I guess it is. You know what I mean?
Like this rapper, they do it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's but I think people will be surprised that most of us in our different urban areas do the same things, right? Because listen, we talk about LA with their gangbang culture, right? Which is very, 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 very deep. But Chicago been gangbanging for years before LA start gangbanging. So that meant that throughout the Midwest, there was GDs and vice lords everywhere. So there was already gangbanging before we heard NWA, or before we heard any,
Definitely.
gangster rap. But once we heard the gangster rap, like you said, hey man, I just seen somebody do that to somebody. Oh shit! Like it,
Nigga, that's the way it is.
right, right. That's how it is in my hood too.
Yeah.
They say rap is the black CNN, right? Which I don't know. It should be K&N, Kill a Nigga Network. The only reason people start eating coochie is because, oh Lord, not this conversation again, Dion. Oh, y'all know Dion gonna bang the line. Because I don't want to talk about individual sex acts, because I don't want this show. This show will go. I'm just saying, so when there's a sexual fad, people catch on, like the whole groceries and all that kind of stuff. Once that song hit, that's all you heard about.
Yeah.
After that, that's all you heard about. That.
Horrible, man.
But it has been being done for a very long time. I go back to 1989 when Scarface from the Ghetto Boys on Gangster of Love, when he said, "Turn me over off my back, go open up my," and started. And that was the first time I said, "Whoa, what was that about?" Please come and explain that to us. So these things have been done, and if you ain't never looked at one of them old school VCR tapes from the 80s, I tell a story. My cousin knew where his father's stash was, even though it was a lock on the door. So those tapes would get, transported and trafficked. And we would end up seeing them. So they were doing the same things. They were doing the same things that you see now. It just was on video, on VHS. A said, when every aspect of life is messed up, the only time people get to feel good was when they busting a good one or getting high. Yeah, temporary relief. What's her song? His name's Kiwi. Is that? I don't know. I don't know the relevance behind the saying Ski. She be saying that, but just that's what we used to say. The boy say skeet to the wall, something like that. Something about something dripping off his balls or something. I don't know. Yeah, man, sex and drugs. People just can't get enough of either one. And people have, believe it or not, and another reason why you can't really judge Sexy Red nor any rapper nor any person is because people do some kinky shit behind closed doors. Everybody has their kink.
Word is behind closed doors.
That's what I'm saying. No. I get word. that. But Kamar, it's like saying if you kill somebody and don't nobody know, it ain't murder. It ain't murder till you get caught. I mean, if you a freak nasty, you're a freak nasty. You just didn't make a song about it, but I just want to say you can't judge anyone. I guess that's my point.
Well, we ain't judging her. And I'm not judging her. I'm just talking about what I don't agree with. You know what I mean? I think nothing wrong with that.
No, and you got the right, especially when she put it out there, you got the right to say, I don't want to hear that shit.
Right.
Shout out to Kimberly Ann. How you doing, sis? Up in Madison, still fighting a good fight. I know you are. I saw you talking about some bills the other day. You still out there running the halls of Madison, causing corruption. I shouldn't say corruption, chaos amongst the lawmakers. I said corruption.
That's who brought that bill, ain't it?
She did bring a bill to us, but she brought the medical apartheid.
Yeah, that too.
Yep, she brought the medical apartheid. Yep. And because her whole thing was, you got to watch the government because they for a long time have been playing games with us. With us, our medical. This is why we can't really trust. As a black person, it's hard for you to trust anything. First of all, but the American government and scientists and come on, son. Like I still think there's a whole thing to be uncovered with the COVID joint. I still see when I see them now with this whole, hey, we got a new shot now. Wait a minute, hold on. For a minute we was boosting. Now we got a whole new one, and then you got all these studies that say different things. I feel like one day somebody's gonna get exposed for some shit behind this COVID thing. Shout out to that sister. She says she's still at it. Yes, yes, my sister. You got to come on, hit us up one day and tell us about it. She said, "Don't get me started." Well, the number's 262-202-5131. If you want to get some shit started, you got the
Want to
right
talk about
one.
it? Here go the number.
Right. You know, you don't want to start nothing.
Got time today.
Man, it's Tuesday. It's the War Report. It's Outlaw Radio. Also wanted to say to people, this is another thing we talk about on the show a lot. Self-love, right? Loving yourself for who you are and how you look. Now I do understand that it can be a health situation when you are overweight. I can understand that you want to live a healthier lifestyle and you say, I just don't feel right. I need to lose some weight. I need to exercise. I need to eat right. When you say that to me, I'm like, yes, that's what because you want to improve. It's about self-improvement. But when you say, hey, I want a six-pack or I want to be skinny because I think that, people that will make people love me more and all this kind of stuff. I think you start to fall victim to things. And we've seen that even celebrities have fallen victims to going out of the country, getting these surgeries. We are learning now that these Brazilian butt lifts are super dangerous. I heard a plastic surgeon say that some of these procedures are the most dangerous surgical procedures. And that's why there's so many laws and stipulations on them in this country. And that's why people go to Mexico and Ecuador or wherever to get them done. And we found out they can be deadly. Even the long-term effects of some of the things that they use or some of the techniques that they use can be deadly. Now we're hearing these, be careful of the weight loss drugs. And I see a lot of celebrities and a lot of influencers pushing all these different kinds of pills and fat burner, and this will bring your stomach down and all this. And I've always kind of said, you got to be careful what you take. So be careful of, and I didn't, the names were too long. You can go and Google it. That's one thing about Outlaw Radio. Google this. You'll see the reels on it and get the details on it. But be careful. And once again, I'm not anybody who says I'm about to go on a journey and I want to get healthy, I want to shed some weight. Do it because you want to improve your health. Do it because you want to feel good and because you want to be the best person that you can be for yourself. Please don't do it because you're thinking that other people will love you more because of it. Because I'm here to tell you, there's skinny people who get mistreated too. So, and yeah, I guess that's my key, Ace, is do it as natural as possible. He said, if it ain't natural, it ain't right. Right? Anything that promises you'll lose all this weight without exercise or without changing your diet. Right? Because any weight loss plan should be centered around those two things: your diet and exercise. Anything else, you want to take a supplement or take a fat burner, then go work out and all that, I think you're just adding, fuel to the fire. I think because you put stuff in your system, man, and you don't know what's in it. And that's where we were just talking about. This could be the latest placebo, the latest science experiment that they are conducting on us. Because believe it or not, there's still a lot of questions about our actual physiology as Black people. They don't totally understand the way we're made up and why we are the way we are. They would love to know. They're doing more and more research every day. So please be careful. Please be careful. I'm a big dude, and I know I need to lose some weight right now because I'm getting older. But I'm not saying I want to be skinny so I can, I want to be cute. I think I'll be cuter, or I want to look like a celebrity. I've done pretty good at my size with this face. I've done okay. I'm not chasing anything. I'm straight. So I want to go about it doing it the right way. I'm not going to go on these. What's the new diet that they have where people are really dropping weight like fast? It's like they don't have anything to eat except like granola or whatever. I can't, Pimblenic or something like that. I don't know what it is, Kamar. I have to find it. I'm gonna get some.
I have heard about some people using a diabetic medicine. Like you hear about a lot of stars that's losing weight. There's some diabetic medicine that they use, and you know what I mean. It was something on YouTube where they was talking about how it's harmful, but like they care more about how they look so they could get jobs and all that type of shit, and less about the wear and tear on their bodies that they doing to
Okay.
lose the weight.
Yeah, and you know how these celebrities influence us. Goodness gracious, we shit. It just
Yeah, we were just talking about it.
yeah, people go cuckoo for celebrities, man. And I get it, but I mean, I was a little kid. I'm gonna tell you, when I was a little kid, you know who I thought was cool as shit? I thought Michael Jackson was like this kind of like astronomical phenomena. I used to think like Michael Jackson is like the greatest person, like, and I'm talking really young. And then as I got older, I started to see what Mike was going through, and I started to say, wait, celebrities ain't exactly what we think they are. We make a lot of assumptions when we see someone on television or someone has a television show, or they have, how many artists have we seen come out now and do documentaries where you say, man, you sold 12 million records and you was on these world tours and you was all on the video playing, and they say the whole time I was broke because I had a shitty contract.
Right.
So we assume like, man, like this dude got to be living, you know what I mean? So, I found out celebrity is an illusion. Same thing when you growing up, you watching television, you watching movies, you say, man, I want to be like that when I grow up. Because when I was young, I wanted to be Eddie Murphy. I thought like, man, that's the coolest black dude I ever seen in my life, besides my pops and Jim Brown. I thought Eddie Murphy, like, man, that's what I want to be. And then you start to realize that fame, man, first of all, the movies are fabricated. This person can't fight in real life, can't do none of this shit in the movie. It's just a realization that I came to growing up. So, but now it's a whole different level of idol worship now, because now we got the internet and Instagram and social media followers. And, they say, you say something about Beyonce, motherfuckers come for your neck on the internet. Like, people get at you. It's like, wait, y'all know she a human, right? It's just, And speaking of Beyonce, so the controversial thing, and this ain't her, but her husband, the controversial thing was Jay-Z, somehow this story leaked that Jay-Z had a cousin who asked him for $4,800, and Jay-Z turned him down, and he's worth, I don't know how many billions of dollars. And people were saying that's foul of Jay-Z. Now, you would think in the normal world, this ain't no big deal because it ain't none of our business or whatever. But it became a topic of discussion because it's like, okay, I seen him on the Breakfast Club talking about it and how they don't give money to people, and people won't stop asking me and all this. But I said to myself, if I was a billionaire and I had a cousin come to me and ask me for $5,000, I would give him that shit with the gypsiness. Like, here, man.
How many times he probably done it already?
Right. I don't know.
But we got to realize, like, it's something I'm seeing too, like right now. Like, a lot of people have ideas, but they ain't got no money for their ideas, right?
That's right.
And then it don't be no financial education behind this shit. They don't be having no business plans set up. You know what I mean? And it's a whole lot to it. You know what I mean? And like, they never talk about how many times or how a celebrity, and I ain't even saying which celebrity, but it could be any of them. Like, when you get money, you know what I mean? It ain't no telling how many times they done tried to set something up for their family to be good. Like, they just don't want to work or something. Right. You know what I mean? Or they just don't
come up with an overnight,
Yeah, you know what I mean? But because see, when you give somebody something, a lot of the time they'll spend the money and then they be right back asking for some more when they run out. They're gonna need your help again.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I ain't saying that's what's going on, but you know what I mean? I think when we see shit like that, we gotta kind of be mindful too.
Yeah, okay, so for me, what I would do is, if I was a billionaire, and I'm just being honest, I would have a system set up specifically for my family. Because if I'm a billionaire, nobody in my family, regardless of the circumstances, should ever be hungry or ever be in dire straits, right? And so I would appoint someone that my family could go to when they needed something, and sort of like our own family bank, right? And I would just have it set up so it's like, okay, well, we'll do contract. If it's large, like an investment in a business, you have a contract. It's a binding contract in which there's repayment clauses. And if you fail and fall on your ass, then I'm gonna send the bill collectors after you like the normal bank would. But I would also have it so that there would be money available. So if I had a cousin who was just really down on their luck, they could go and say, hey, here goes some money, get you some food or whatever. And I would appoint somebody to be responsible and accountable for that. Because if I got a crackhead cousin, no, he can't come get a dub every day. Right? he vet the people. You know, if you say, hey man, we got an alert because this your cousin that came and got $5,000 five times. Don't give it to him. I've given it to him twice, right? And I would just set up something for my family that could be lucrative for them in that.
In this situation, I feel like that money been around for so long. This ain't the first time.
Perhaps not.
You know what I mean? This ain't the first time he done asked for some money, I'm sure.
And it probably shouldn't be though, Kamar. If you have billions of dollars, right?
That don't mean I just got it for a motherfucker to come get it. You know what I mean? Whenever they need something.
If I have billions of dollars, I have some cousins that I got so much love for that they could come to me 2 or 3, 4 times and say, Kev, I know that didn't work. I got billions. I would say, hey, cuz, you man, here. Because look, if you lose your billions, you're not gonna be sitting around saying, if I hadn't gave dude $15,000, I'd still have money. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like with your family, and when I say family, first of all, I don't consider everybody that's related to me family.
Right.
I don't know if people would understand that statement. Yeah, biologically, we may be related. We may have some DNA similarities, but you couldn't come to me and ask me for $2 because I don't rock with you. And I tell you when you ask me, like, bro, what? So if I had billions of dollars, I'm saying the cousins that I know that I rock with, like my little cousin on here now, Mariah. If I was a billionaire, she could hit me and say, cuz, what's happening? Hey, don't just come see me. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be no issue. Let me see. I think this is Shabaka. Shabaka, what's popping?
Hey, what's going on, man? Are you on live right now?
We are live right now on a Tuesday. It's a special edition because I was taking a mental break last night. I was watching a Packer game. So I didn't do it.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, I just want to make an announcement, man, and please spread this message about Blog Talk, okay? And if there's anybody else that have problems with this, man, please let them know. Okay, here's the deal. Okay, I was on the $99 a month package with Blog Talk, right? Okay. So I tried to downgrade it, right? Okay. So therefore, I go to my financial institution. I tell them not to pay Blog Talk, and they wouldn't pay Blog Talk anyway. Okay. So then we try to do a special, not a special edition, but our normal day is Tuesday that we do. Okay. And we can't get into the damn studios, and we're upset about it. And so if anybody is out there, man, who's got some legal knowledge to sue these bastards, man, please let me know. It's because I do remember we were on one podcast, and I think we was doing we was doing the StreamYard, and and the brother had related that Blog Talk was pretty much gone down the hills anyway, man, and I'm starting to see why. Is because you used to be able to monetize on Blog Talk, and like I said, I ain't receiving not one fucking dime in monetization yet. You know what I mean? Indirectly, from a couple of contributors to the show. Yes, they stopped at monetizing, and then they got this artificial intelligence bullshit, man, that only knows what is program. I tried to call their headquarters. Oh, the number's disconnected. You can't call in. So, man, we don't know if the motherfucker's been hacked, man. We don't know if the management themselves is hacking this shit on purpose. So I'm just putting that out there, Mr. Barnes. And then if anybody's got some legal knowledge, man, you know what I'm saying, that could help us with this, would be greatly appreciated. And they could inbox us, man, on Facebook on my like page, And then also, too, talking about some of the situation that's going on in the news. Biden is putting the wall up with the dump started. And when I say the dump, I mean as in human shit. And I want to make that perfectly clear. And I also believe that the governor of Florida wears women's underwear, so I'll be referring to him as the panties. Hell, for all I know, it could be them sabotaging us over here, man. That's Shabaka's black upstairs in hands. You know what I'm saying? So just be careful out there. And quite naturally, of course, you get these coons, ass scratchers, yassa bosses, which is all inclusion of illusion shit, man. And this here just goes to prove that when you speak against their version of it, man, and telling them the real, man, they can't deal with it. And punks like Eric Adams, that Brandon bastard there in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? London Bridge out there in San Francisco, you know what I'm saying? And then there's some other ass scratching politician somewhere, and they just sit up there, man, and want to go with this goddamn feminization of black men, thinking that this is the norm, and they may go fuck themselves. Because I'm highly upset as a black man behind that. You're going to sit up there, man, and shatter the black family unit that you did systemically. And then you're going to come up here, man, telling me that some goony bird ass, dog-faced Joe is a woman. And like we stated on our podcast, man, I got a crisp $50 bill. If one of them bastards can go out there and prove his last menstrual cycle, man, which he cannot, I'll give them $50. And when they can't, they give me $500.
All right, Shabaka, I was the one on the show. We were doing the show. Shout out to Paris, and I was telling you that Blog Talk, technology wise, is an outdated platform, and I started out with Blog Talk about 7 years ago, and even then, the technology wasn't real good, but Blog Talk is more like a Facebook of podcasters. There's a real community of Blog Talk people. And I was amazed when I came on your show that some of the people like Pianki and all those, I'm like, they're still on Blog Talk, like fucking with people, right? Like because I went from there and we started to use Spreaker, and then Spreaker kind of played itself out, and then I jumped on. Actually, we didn't even use the service for a minute, Kamar. We just used Zoom until I found StreamYard, and then we got on StreamYard. But at this point, Blog Talk is,
yes, sir.
I mean, but don't get me wrong, Blog Talk is excellent for a person that's just getting into podcasting. Like if you really want to do some internet radio, Blog Talk is a good platform to start. But once you really figure out what you're doing, you get over it real quick and be like, you know what, I'm moving on. So I would definitely encourage you to look into some different platforms, because $99 a month, first of all, is very steep for any service. When you can get you can get a StreamYard feed for free and get way more technology out of it. So I would definitely look into it.
Right? Okay.
So
we might be moving over to StreamYard, man, but I'm just putting Blog Talk and they bullshit on blast.
Okay.
And then also too, man, I'm putting these alphabetized ignorant motherfuckers on blast too. As I stated before, Mr. Barnes, I said it on your platform. I've said it on Brother Paris's platform with the Revolutionary Agenda, and the StreamYard that we do is that, hey, them motherfuckers got their human rights, they got their civil rights, but you are going way crossing the line when you sitting up there, you're telling some dude that he can go up here and be a woman like that Joshua videotape that they had out there last week, man. I don't know if you saw it or not. It was disgusting. 6'8", dude, screaming at the teacher, and the dude says, "Call me by my pronoun. I'm a woman. And this dog-faced Joe, man, got full beard, wearing a fucking wig, talking about he's a woman, and the teacher says, "Well, I'll just call you Joshua." You see, now he looked like that damn fool in Chicago, man, that went and hit that woman, man, and her son went and dumped on his ass and kicked him off the planet, and rightfully so. You see what I mean?
He said he kicked him off the planet. He kicked him off the planet.
Get
your ass off Earth.
Yes, sir. When that trick hit that man's mother, you know what I'm saying? That young man did exactly what he was supposed to do. You see what I mean? And how the hell does a grown-ass man want to go up here and hit a woman with a closed fist? Man, if you feel you got you some steam, I'm sure the witch doctor agrees with me. If you got some steam you want to go and let off, man, all you got to do is walk down the street, man, see the first head you see smashing, man, and it's on. But you're going to sit up here and hit this woman in the presence of her son?
I would encourage everybody, I don't care how much steam you got, keep your hands to yourself. I encourage people all the time.
Absolutely.
Keep your
Yes,
hands to
sir. Most
yourself.
definitely.
Like, you know,
Absolutely,
yeah,
most
I had some
definitely,
steam
because
to
you
let
could do
off.
something very, very, yeah,
Like,
well, this is why they got boxing gyms. You see what I'm
why they
saying?
got
This is why they got
pistols.
martial arts classes. And this is why they got what now?
Pistols. That's why James Brown said you might know karate, but I know razor, right?
Oh yes, sir. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You see what I mean? And I'm just off in a pissed off mood, man. I was first off, but I was in a good mood, but I'm in a pissed off mood right now, Mr. Barnes. I got this long drive I got to make tomorrow, all the way from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. You know what I mean? And I'm just putting them out there on blast with this shit. And then, as you know, too, man, San Francisco is kind of like the headquarters of, the Silicon Valley, where everything is headquartered at. It's between LA and Los Angeles, okay? I mean, between Frisco and Los Angeles. Because Frisco is where you got your Spreaker headquartered at, man. You know, you got Facebook not too far from there. YouTube is like about 25 miles south of San Francisco in a place called San Bruno. But then, all that Paramount StreamYard, all that Netflix, and what have you, that is up out of Los Angeles. You see what I'm saying? So, you definitely got that hook up between LA and the Bay, on this social media platforms, and also too with this artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence only what is known as what is being programmed. You see what I'm saying? It can't reason, it can't think, it has no feelings. You see what I mean? And they're going to go up there, carry out, man, whatever that they're programmed. Why the hell are you trying to think they're trying to come out with these damn robots? In the first place, who they're going to put the robots at is the police department.
When is y'all next show? Because I want to share the next show.
Oh yes, sir. Okay, yeah, we do Grand Rising with Shabaka, every Friday morning, and you guys are right there in the Central Time Zone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so it would be 10 a.m. in the Central Time Zone for you. That is, we can get it back up because I'm trying to, resolve the situation. So hopefully we'll most definitely, man. If we do, we'll definitely put a post up there.
All right, keep us posted, man. Keep us posted.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, Mr. Bond.
All right,
okay,
man.
Take care.
Power to the people.
Always.
Yes,
okay.
Sir. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yes, shout out to Shabaka St. Cour and Paris LaShawn. Yeah, man. Kamar, you weren't with me when I was using Blog Talk. You weren't with me when I was using Blog Talk. This was actually me saying I'm gonna do an internet radio show. The funny part is it landlines, and I had a landline put in and my computer. So you had to actually call in from a landline to get the show started. It gave you a code and it gave you a countdown. It did give you a phone, where you could take calls, and I played music, and I did like that, but the sound quality was bad. Sometimes it wouldn't even, we'd be over here ready to do a show and the shit wouldn't come on. I'm like, So I think when you came, I was still using Spreaker, which was dope for a minute. But like, if you out here and you trying to start a podcast now, there's so many other platforms that you could utilize. Like, people now don't even use a service. They literally just go live. Like, yo, when you started
getting here.
right. I just want to tell y'all how I feel. Right. Like, it's like, okay. But if you want to get into stuff like having the comments, obviously, like this, or being able to have us do it virtually and simulcasting and that kind of thing, and being able to show videos and stuff like that this services will enable you to do, tickers and banners for commercials. By the way, if you have some positive or progressive going on in the community, you want to get your banner on the show, hit me up. I know I forget to promote it, right? But it's still opportunities for people with businesses to have their logos on the screen, presenting their videos and stuff. So hit me up. I want to go back to Ace. We were talking about the Jay-Z not loaning his cousin the $4,800. And he said, as a billionaire, we are creating generational wealth. You got write-offs that you need to make. I would just give allowances, but would only be within my community. Well, yeah, and that's another thing, Kamar. Well, because you could say, well, I'm not going to give my cousin no money because he ain't going to do nothing but waste it, but you'll give it to a charitable organization who will tell you a vast majority of what you give them goes to administrative costs. So, so it's getting blown up a dog's ass anyways, right? And your cousin like, shit, you could have gave it to me and I could have started rhythm spoons or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's so I just feel like once and two, there's not enough of us.
Don't you feel like a sucker? Like every so often they keep coming back to hit you up with 5 here, 10 there, another 5 here, and these are all different business ventures that you know they ain't did no research on. You know they finna fail. All they really want is them J's because they stay fresh as a motherfucker. Come on, man. You know what I mean? I think it's a fine line. You know what I mean? I think if with most celebrities that's having money or athletes or whatever, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure it happened to athletes like that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you come across with something dope, you know what I mean? You got a plan, you got some shit up where you show where you done did your research and you know what I mean? And I just need a little financial help. You know what I mean? I don't think it would be too much of a problem with most celebrities.
Once again, we don't know the
like
context.
I said, in the only time I really feel like it would be a problem if that was something that was repetitive. So now, because you know, a motherfucker cool with you until you say no.
Absolutely.
And then everybody know it, but now everybody got to know about this shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like we gotta be careful with that, man. You know what I mean? Ain't no telling how far this shit been going. We don't be on the phone. We ain't in no text messages.
Once again, they didn't give context to the situation as to, you know, if this cousin was a frequent borrower or not, and that could indeed be a possibility. But to what you were saying, I feel like if I mean, when we start talking about billionaire, we ain't talking about you got a contract for $500,000. Everybody want no. I'm saying billionaire with sustained businesses, meaning your wealth is long lasting and consistently generating. I feel like everybody in my family should be fresh. So there should be somewhere where they can go and get the Jordans or get the fresh gear and make sure, hey man, I need somewhere to live. But now that that's why I said vet the borrowers, because that repeat cousin who came last month and got 5,000, he can't come back. There's a policy in place, bruh. One $5,000 loan per year and that's just for certain people. But you would have to almost build your credit up with what I would do. You'd almost have to build your credit up to qualify.
Or better yet, let me train you for one of these positions in one of these businesses so you can get paid every week.
There's that. And I'm sure a lot of his cousins
do
work for him.
And they probably fucked that off already. You know
look at Taj. Look at Taj with Buffalo Boss. He's got it. That's Jay-Z's cousin. I told y'all I thought he said that. Now I see somebody else say, yeah.
And he out here getting it.
Doing what he got to do.
Now, I bet you if I don't know their relationship, but you know what I mean? It seemed like knowing Taj, if he went to him like, hey, Jay, I need so-and-so amount of dollars so I can do this with Buffalo.
So here you go.
You know what I mean? It's legitimate. I can see that. You know what I mean? And then like when you do donations like that, they got to be to reputable businesses or nonprofits and shit. You know what I mean? You can't you can't just say I gave $5,000 to so-and-so.
No, there's a process. I think every situation is different, but what I'm saying is there would definitely be a mechanism in place so that people who are in my family and in my circle would be able, so they shouldn't struggle. Now, you know, if there's a situation where somebody's really belligerent and really just reckless, then of course they don't get help in terms of monetary support. Then I'd say, hey, you know, are you saying you homeless or your kids ain't ate? Well, here's some food, right? Or here's a voucher, or you can go to the restaurant and eat for free, but I'm not giving you no more $5,000 hits.
Right.
It's just
I want you to be responsible.
Exactly.
So I know if I give you this, I know you're gonna sustain it and make it grow and build on it. You know what I'm saying? I want to know you got your mind right. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, what we doing it for? What's the purpose? You know what I'm saying? I'm feeding the beast now. You know what I'm saying? Because you refuse to learn, you refuse to do better because you know I'm here to give
you lose accountability after a while.
So, it's got to be some kind of accountability. You know what I mean? That's why I say I create some kind of job. I'm gonna create something for them that they could do. You know what I mean?
Ace said, if I'm investing, I'm gonna need to see a business plan, and I'm a silent partner until I see a return. Once again, I think because I've never had billions, I've never had millions like Jay-Z, but when I've been fortunate enough to have some bread, I've had cousins who come to me repeat times and friends who come to me repeat times for money. And if I was able to help them, I would, to a certain point. Like Kamar just said, after a while, it's like, bruh, I can't rock with you this time, man. Because
now you want to put me on media takeout and shit.
Well, yeah, but that's fine.
Now you want to get the money that way and shit. You know what I'm saying?
You won't get shit ever again after that.
You know what I mean?
Like now you lose your card to whatever. I'm just saying there should be a mechanism put in place, because if we are in a situation where we have more black millionaires and more black billionaires than we've ever had, then why are our communities still so disenfranchised? Why? Like I don't.
Right.
There's no reason we should have to. If we buy your records and go see your movies and stream your songs and all of this, a certain portion of what you're making should be put back in. So when you walk into a neighborhood and say, hey, I'm on tour doing a show here in Detroit, I went and saw this school with these little kids and these is a motivated staff and they doing the right thing. Hey, y'all, I'm leaving $10,000 for y'all. You should be doing that, like various stops. It's called philanthropy. I'm not saying that they don't, but I think the bigger they get, the more they give to white charities and white nonprofits, as opposed to saying, hey, let me go into my community. I mean, shit, Oprah went overseas and started the school. She's in Chicago. Like, fuck Chicago.
Right.
These niggas don't want shit.
To Chicago and Milwaukee.
Right. I mean, and Mississippi. She's from Mississippi. So, and Mississippi is the poorest state in the union. Black people living horribly down there. Black people down there said, don't shit on us. We get good moonshine and the pig feet. I'm saying it's a very poor state.
Treat us good.
Right. It's good down here, boy. What you talking about? But no, I just feel like that's part of building, though. Like more often than not, what our counterparts do is they generate a fortune, and there's always room for the family. Now, because every now and then they're gonna get a cousin or a brother-in-law or a brother even that takes the money you give him, and now he's doing his thing, and that's
hey, now this right.
We got wealth being built.
I remember reading about LeBron and talking about a lot of the brothers who he grew up with and shit. You know what I mean? He put them through school and shit to give them a job. You know what I mean? To where they could sustain themselves.
Rich Paul.
You did what I'm saying?
Agent in the world.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like I will set up, give people, you know what I mean, opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not finna just let you come pick off of me.
Right. Rich Paul is one of LeBron's homies.
I got too much work to be doing, right? To be answering this call to find out how to get you this money and shit. I got too much other shit to be doing.
Well, once again, it should be somebody delegated to do that, though. Like, hey, I put 50 over.
I'm not delegating nobody to give away my money.
You do, though. That's what your accountant does.
Right.
That's what your accountant does. What do you mean? That's what your accountant do every day. You got
I'm talking about to give away money just because. No, man, like they my kids and shit.
If I had billions, I would. Nobody in the history of my family has ever had billions.
You would set something up. You know
that's
what
delegation, though.
But then if you would do it that way, like me, I would create. Like I say, I would create something. If y'all can't work within this to get your money, you know what I mean? Shit, what the fuck? You can't. If you can't help me help you, what the fuck is we doing?
Right, but I'm saying, Kamar, that's still delegation because you're saying, hey, go take care of that. Go handle that.
Now, I'm talking about some kind of business. Like, you're going to get into this family business somehow. You know what I mean? You're not finna be picking off of me. And if you can't get into this family business, you need to go find a job somewhere.
You go be
no bullshit. I hit you off one time, and after that, you on your own. Ain't nobody gave me, hey, Kev, because look, ain't nobody gave me shit. I had to wake the fuck up on my own.
Yeah, nobody gave you anything, but there were people who assisted you along the way.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm here for.
Somebody looked out for
you. But they didn't give me shit.
No, but they just provided you with an opportunity.
Right. See what I'm saying?
Right. Everybody got a different way they do it. Like Kamar, what you said, setting up a business where people, hey, you want to work? You can go down there and work. But for me to just say, because I look at the Native Americans with what they do with their casinos, and they say, hey, if you a member of this tribe, you getting a check every month. What you do with it is what you do with it. But because you're in this tribe, you're going to get a check. I would create a situation like that where it's like, no, people in my family, because instead of giving a tax, that would be my tax write-off. Bro, I donate $200,000 a year to my family. I have an endowment fund for my family. I've set up a financial institution where they can navigate and assist themselves financially. And it's a whole process in getting bread. So, because see, if you make it a process, you ain't going to see the repeat offenders as often. If he know he got to come sit down with somebody, fill out some paper. Man, what is my cousin, man? Call him on the phone. Nah, bro. You got to fill out this paper.
Hey, and that's my point right there. You know what I mean? It just ain't shit for free in life. I ain't finna, you know what I mean, be that silver spoon like that. And I ain't changing I ain't changing shit in my generation. I mean, I ain't breaking up generational curse. You gotta teach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. They gotta learn. You gotta teach. You gotta give them some motivation. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like if you want a loan to start a business, I need for you to take business courses, and I have somebody who I deal with. So it would be a process, but it would definitely be something there.
Right. Let's do this shit right.
Yeah, because I ain't finna, like you ain't gonna rob me.
I ain't finna just put some money in your bank account because you told me.
No. Well, no. I once again, like I said, I'd like for my family to be able to say, "Hey, man, I get a little, $300-400 a month from Kev because he's a billionaire in our family and all the Barnes family. Hey, man, you a Barnes, and I know you, and I can identify you. You can trace the bloodline. Okay, well, there's a cutoff point too when I say, hey, man, we at capacity."
You got a whole bunch of cousins now. Right. They find out about this.
Showing up with popping up.
And Photoshop my grandmama on some picture and shit. She never met you in their life, man. Let me ask y'all a question. Do you both eat seafood?
No.
You don't eat seafood.
You know I don't eat no seafood.
I didn't. I don't know.
Vegan.
A seafood is meat. I mean, I didn't know if that was some vegans eat fish. Some vegans eat fish. Huh?
It's got a face.
So you don't eat fish either?
No.
Okay, because I know some vegans who eat fish. That's what I'm saying. What they call them?
Pescatarian. They would be pescatarian.
Okay, and so chicken, but Rel, do you eat seafood?
I eat fish, yeah.
Okay, no shrimp, no crab legs, no.
I used to growing up, but now I just don't have a. To me, they sea bugs. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Because that's where I'm going. Because I happen to enjoy crab legs, right? And my wife will lay out some gumbo with some crab legs hanging all out. It's delicious. I didn't eat crab legs growing up. My mother didn't cook. She didn't cook crab legs or, lobster. Like we didn't eat crayfish. None of that. My mom, we ate more pork than anything. But I see now, like my wife got me into the crab legs a long time ago. When we first said, man, these are good. And I've always liked shrimp. So I see somebody put up a post on Facebook today, like, y'all eat the crabs and all this. These are bugs. And somebody put on there, with butter.
Oh, I seen that.
But my thing is, people actually eat insects all over the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
Like people eat. I vividly remember in school being in the Badlands on the way to a game, stop at this big depot in South Dakota, and they had a section in there about the settlers, the people who came and settled on the plains, what they ate. They ate bugs a lot, like locusts, and they had like fried grasshoppers, and they had all these different insects, and we ate some, and surprisingly, I was like, this don't taste bad. And so it's like, at first you say, ugh, but then you see people overseas eating grub worms and all this kind of tarantulas, and they live longer than us almost.
Man, listen, man, other countries eat way different. Like, hey, insects are insects, but shit, they natural. They, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird as fuck, you know what I mean? But we eat dumb shit and we like, oh, that's crazy. You know, like wherever you at. Other countries, they don't look at when they get a plate of food, they don't look at what kind of meat on here. We want to know what's served with the greens, what's served with, you know what I'm saying? And other countries, they just look at it as a plate of food.
Okay. Catfish are bottom feeders. Yeah. And people love catfish. Catfish eat the garbage off the bottom of the whatever. And so you mean fried catfish. People love it. You see with a shrimp and be like, man, that's a sea roach. And it's like, I just think sometimes people need to leave other people alone, man. It's just like, why do you want to be the one to, that's a bug, right? Like, I would have to look into everything that you eat and see what you, because somebody might be eating something. I say, oh, you eat that shit? That's some bullshit. So I don't know. I just had to ask y'all because I know we will tear some shrimp up. We eat shrimp a lot in my wife and my children, and we eat crab legs a lot. I've put some on the grill. My wife would put together Cajun seafood boils. We do all the shit, right? And I was like, so I'm eating bugs, right? And my brother, he stopped eating it. And so one day I was eating some shrimp, and he was like, yeah, man, go ahead and eat them big ass roaches. And I'm like, what you talking about? He was like, dude, that ain't nothing but a roach. That's just a water roach. And I was like, shit, this motherfucker tastes good. My fellow seafood eaters out there, man, y'all let me know, man. I just crab legs, shrimp, catfish, I love fish too, but chickens walk around and eat shit in the yard. And animals are animals. They're nasty. But for people who are vegans and people who just eat plants, shit makes the plants grow. So manure is natural fertilizer that's used in a lot of vegetables. That's what they use to grow it. Huh?
So is dead plants.
Yeah. Dead
plants. Old fruit is manure too. Like it ain't gotta be, it don't have to be. And see, and that's that's an issue too. You know what I mean? Like you talk about people being vegan, a lot of the time they go that deep as far as like what the fertilizer was used. You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of vegans will rather use natural compost than animal fertilizer.
The vegan lifestyle that you live right now, there's people who would love nothing better than to be able to do that, and they can't do it. I see people say, I didn't stop eating meat, man. I ain't ate no meat in 3-4 months, and it's one barbecue away from backsliding, right? Now, Kamar, I know you committed to it, so I'm not even tripping on you. Sure. I'm just saying they don't understand that it's not. First of all, it's not easy to do. And secondly, you have to be methodical about how you do it if you want to be a true vegan, right? And if you're going to consume vegetables that got pest spray on them from the GMOs and all that, you might as well just eat a Whopper. I'm saying, if I eat a chemically grown,
says a person who eats Whoppers. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. Well, okay. So you telling me if it's is not an organically grown piece of fruit and it's sprayed with all kinds of pesticides, it holds the same nutritional value as.
I ain't saying that. I ain't saying that either. I'm just saying like some people prefer not to eat the animal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because see, at this point, I understand it make me feel a lot different. It make me throw up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So like, no, I'd rather eat the fruit.
And I don't care.
I ain't saying one is better than the other.
I don't care what a person eats. Honestly, to tell you the truth, right. It's one of them things where. I feel like more people get critical.
My focus is on my journey.
Eating seafood. I don't never say nothing to somebody say, hey man, I don't eat meat. All I eat is vegetables. I say, man, more power to you. But if I got a nice hot shrimp, fried shrimp, they say, you gonna eat that sea roach? Now, why you gotta fuck with me? I'm not fucking with you.
Only time I tell somebody what they should eat is when they real sick and they asking me.
Okay.
What do I think? That's the only time I talk about what somebody else eat. Because see, like my focus is on my journey, as well everybody else should. You know what I mean? We all should be looking for something else we could do better in our own life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I don't worry about what nobody else eat or drink. And then, you know, like we go back to the vegan thing, like everybody vegan is different. Some people vegan for different reasons. You know what I mean? And then you got levels to it. You know what I mean? You got people who just do vegetables and fruit or raw vegetables and fruit. You know what I'm saying? You got, I mean, so like, again, we should just focus on our own journey, on our own, what we eat.
Yeah. And like I'm saying, people don't know that though, Kamar.
Right.
They don't know that vegan is like just everybody vegan is the same. They don't know that it's different kind of, you know, different ways to approach and different reasons and stuff. Like people don't understand that. And I would like for people to get an understanding of it, because it might be something that behooves you to do. Right? Like you might say, hey, I'd like to do it like that. At least that's a start on me eating better and cleaner. But I just feel like in order to make an informed decision,
like I know some people,
all your options.
Right. I know some people who predominantly eat vegan, and like every so often they may go on vacation and they eat whatever. You know what I mean? Right. Straight up. They go and eat whatever on vacation or something. But that's their journey. That's how they kick it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, whatever you eat is just where you at in your life. It's where what you thinking is where you at. What you eating is where you at. How you act is where you at. You know what I mean? So
caller, I think this the homie, man. What's popping, man?
Man, you already know, real nigga, man. On the real, you already know. And I hear you niggas talking about eating that motherfucking food, man. But you know what, though? I'm going to keep it real with you, man. If it wasn't for seasoning, because I be cooking my dog chicken with no seasoning. I ain't going to lie, man. If it wasn't for seasoning, I couldn't eat that food, man. That food got to be seasoned, man. You ever seen cook some shit? It look nasty, man.
Hey, then I remember season the meat that tastes like vegetables.
Yeah, I can eat vegetables without no seasoning. You know, like raw broccoli, raw. I love raw.
Yeah, because you seasoning the meat that tastes like the vegetable.
Yeah, I can't eat that meat without no seasoning, man. You know, but I don't know, man. I need me some. I think like my problem with food is because I love the food. Because, you know, I used to drink, you know. I don't like being an alcoholic, but I like to get drunk. I enjoy to get drunk. I like to get drunk up. I ain't had to drink in over 13 years. So then I stopped smoking weed. Next year it'll be 10 years I ain't smoke weed. Then I stopped smoking cigarettes. In January it'll be 5 years. So I don't do shit. So I need, you know, like I snack unconsciously. You know, like today before I left and went to work, I had some black eyed peas, some yams, and some chicken. Now I'm not even thinking about I had that shit. As soon as I get to Quick Trip, I go to Quick Trip, I grab me a grilled cheese sandwich, a donut, and whatever that sparkling water is. That shit was garbage. I never buy that kind again. But you know what I'm saying? So I snack unconsciously, not really thinking about it, because that's why, like, if you ever see me, I always got a toothpick in my mouth. I'm chewing on something because I had that cigarette, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of the food, you know, this food that we have, man, it just ain't no good for us. It's dangerous. And, you know, I work at school in the morning part-time from 9:30 to 12:30. And the shit they be giving them kids, I know them kids going to have acid reflux when they get older. You can't eat that shit, man. They give them cheese at least 4 times a day. And somebody said cheese ain't, you know what I'm saying, it ain't good for you, though. So a lot of this food, man, it really ain't no good for us. I can't lie. Like, I can't eat no veal. I had veal before, and it reminded me of eating the goddamn baby cow. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't fuck with no pork, but I will fuck with some pork ribs and pork byproduct. Look at that deer. Get your ass out the way. But they gonna run in front of the truck and fuck my whole night up, and I gotta pull over and talk to the police. But anyway, though, so like I was saying, I don't eat that shit, but like I eat turkey, chicken. I ain't had no beef in quite some time. But yeah, this food that we be eating out here, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of fucked up. And like I noticed, like, cause I like to drink energy drinks, shit, like, you know, cause like when I used to smoke cigarettes, I had me a Newport 100, and an energy drink, and that was better than sex. I can't even lie.
Damn.
So now I just drink. Yeah, it was. No, it was. I can't lie. So now, cause when you driving out here, you need something like. I get sleepy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though, you know, you be out here on the road, you think, but if you driving for long periods of time and you on these back roads and shit, you know, like, you get sleepy just looking at them lines. They start hypnotizing. So the cigarette used to keep me up. So now I try to drink just one energy drink a day. Because, you know, they'll say a nigga pre-diabetic, you know. They always be spitting that shit to a motherfucker. Like, you pre-diabetic. If that's the case, I've been pre-diabetic since 2015. I don't want the diabetes, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody want the diabetes. But, yeah, though, man. So, you know, we got to try to eat healthy to be around here. It's kind of odd having you on this Tuesday night, Kev, man. You were through the equilibrium of the world off, man. Like, you done fucked up the astrology and all type of shit. So is you gonna be on tomorrow too?
No, I'm not, because this week I got plantation work to do. So I have a job commitment tomorrow night, and that's why I knew once I said I wasn't gonna do Monday. I said I'll just pop Tuesday because then that way we'll at least have done one fellowship. Because I don't like to say we done a show. I like to call this a fellowship. Outlaw Radio is a fellowship amongst brothers. So I just wanted to at least chop it up with y'all at least once this week, and then next week we should be back to normal, depending on what Master say at the plantation. Because if he say, "Boy, you got to get out there and plow tomorrow again," I'm gonna be behind the mule in the morning, like, yeah.
Hey, did you check out that little information I sent you in your inbox, like with Karen Hunter and old girl be talking, like when I be like, because man, believe it or not though. Now I know you might not want to believe this because everybody want to feel like we free. But we ain't free though, kid. We ain't free. We ain't free. These people still got a chokehold on shit, man. These white people is not gonna give up. That's just like I was listening to some shit. And you know, y'all always be talking about that vote shit. I ain't never voted a day in my life. But the thing about voting that I came to realize, we not voting for equality, we voting for policy. Because these white people don't want to give up their superiority. You understand what I'm saying? They're not gonna allow things to be equal between us and them or anyone else. You see what them goddamn Jews over there doing it. You know, Pete, did you talk about that earlier? You know what I'm saying? How they over there fighting the Palestinians.
The name of the show is The War Report. We started out by talking about the conflict right now in Israel between the Israelis and Hamas. We started the show talking about
Hamas. Yeah, Hamas. Yeah, and the United States is in conflict in other countries. And other countries they ain't telling us about, man. So it's a lot of, you know, like people always be like, "What the world is," and you know, we don't know when the world coming to an end. But it's starting as time go on. You see a little bit more warning signs. And one of the warning signs is the war over there in the Middle East. That's one of the warning signs. Now, I don't really too much believe in the Bible, but I heard a lot of people say that it's in the Bible now. You know what I'm saying? So hey, you know, like my one guy, I don't know if you ever look at the black dot on YouTube. But, you know, we got to start preparing again, man, just in case shit do get fucked up. You know, get our waters and everything that we need, tissue, everything. You know, just it's best to be safe than sorry. Now, I'm going to end this with this. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Always remember that. And I'm going to holler at y'all. I love y'all, man. I'm going to holler at y'all.
Peace out, my brother. Power to the people. Shout out to Dion. Doomsday prepping. He's saying, get ready. You know what? People say, well, it's been conflict in the Middle East for how long? First of all, we go all the way back to the when the Christians decided they were going to go the Crusades. When the Christians said we're going to take this and show these savage Muslims about Christianity, and got their ass ran the fuck up out of the neighborhood because they, you know, when you run up in somebody's house, you got to be prepared for what they got up in there. But I think so. Some people might say this is a religious thing. I wasn't looking at it from a religious perspective. I was looking at it more from a global political perspective on how the United States could be drawn into something, and also the wasteful spending that we shoot to Israel and that we shoot to the Ukraine and to everywhere else where we're supplementing for something we blew up and rebuilding it. When we got so much poverty here, you got hungry children here in America, and it's not like you don't see it. You have a homelessness problem in every major city. And I'm not just veterans, adults, homeless children. If you don't care about grown people, you should at least care about kids. I fuck them kids. I don't like kids. I love kids, and I don't think kids should be made to suffer adult calamities because they didn't get to choose. They didn't get to choose who their parents were. They don't get to choose their circumstances. They just along for the ride a lot of times. so kids are say suffer the little children. So when I see wasteful spending in places where we shouldn't be, and then I hear him saying invest in the infrastructure, invest, which is something that we've talked about on here, which is why we need to be moving our children towards some vocational understanding and some modern day work skills to make them more employable, and the fields that we should be getting into. Shout out to my sister Kamala, Dr. Kamala. She has a STEM group. They just opened up a location. I've been trying to get Cam on the show. Kamala, I should say Kamala. I won't say Cam. She's a doctor now. She got her PhD. We went through our doctorate studies together. I'm trying to get her on to promote it because STEM is very important, and I think Black kids need to start getting more involved in STEM and getting more involved in science and technology. Technology is the way to go, man. If you're an investor right now, the main thing they tell you is find a technological startup.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Nas with Ring, right? And look at how many Black men have invested in small startup companies. And you can do this. This is something you can do. You don't need $1 million to do it. You could also lose your ass if you don't know what you're doing too, but that's why you got to exercise moderation. A says that that's the land of the untouchables. People tired of their shit. Well, yeah, because the Jewish agenda on this planet has been a cold-blooded one. And what they went through, this is why they talk about the Holocaust. If you ever really notice as a Black person, you don't hear about the Middle Passage nearly as much as you hear about the Holocaust.
Nope.
And I believe almost quadruple the amount of people, or probably over quadruple the amount of people died in the Middle Passage compared to the Holocaust. America's never taken, even in this country, the topic of reparations is almost taboo. But you have, not only did you establish and support an independent state for Jewish people, you've given them monetary reparations here. Okay. Don't get me wrong. Because of their solidarity, they did start off in being heavily involved in criminal endeavors, because people don't know the Jewish mafia was on par with the Italian mafia at one point. But it seems like most of those dudes made sure their kids went to Harvard and law school and went to medical school and became doctors and lawyers and accountants. And so there was no need for us to be involved in crime anymore. And I'm sure there's still some Jewish criminals that
they went to Hollywood. They own
hey, bro.
They own the whole Hollywood, man.
Yes,
the
sir.
Italians went to Vegas and the Jews went to Hollywood.
It's a West Coast thing. A said, what is STEM? STEM is it's the areas of study: science, technology,
engineering, mathematics.
There you go. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And it's trying to get kids involved in something science, like the sciences, the mathematics, engineering. We need more Black engineers.
I heard on the radio
telling that to our kids. We talking about go play for Prime, which is a good thing. But study engineering while you at the University of Colorado, because all y'all can't go to the NFL. Sorry, you can't all play in the NFL. So, and even those who play in the NFL, one day will eventually need a job because you can't play forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, STEM is definitely real. We were having this discussion about the RC cars, and like I feel like part of with hobby grade RC cars, it's a deep learning curve for if you get kids involved in it. And I've gone to the track and I've seen young kids on the podium racing, knowing at an early age about the batteries and the voltage and the engineering in terms of differentials and diff fluids and shock fluids and different kinds of springs, all this stuff that it takes that you could do to one little car and take it from 30 miles per hour to 60 miles per hour, or taking one that you can't control to making it totally maneuverable. Don't you know when you get into the Army, they employ those kinds of skills? Now you just flying the drone, or you driving the tank, or so it extends itself. And so so I was thinking about what you said to me about, man, some sort of program where I could take a group of kids, have them take some RC kits and put them together and teach them the whole, and just designate, what do you like to do? Well, I like to drive. Okay, you're going to focus on operating. Well, I'm into the radios. How does 2.4 gigahertz radios work? Okay, you're going to be over the radios and the receivers. You gonna do the motors. You could do the body and do fabrication, right? Like, and teach kids how to paint them and stuff like. And then at the end of the day, we all go race and put them in a race and see what we can win. I think there's definitely something to be said for that.
Most definitely. I mean, even if you look at the way technology is going now, I mean, just the like, even if we just focused on drones, I mean, drones now are being used to fight forest fires. They're being used to spray agricultural crops. They're being used in cinema. So you know what I'm saying? So just that avenue alone will open up so many doors. And then with that STEM, I heard them on the radio and they was talking about how they got a either a hydroponic or aquaponics group that I want to get down with, because we really need to focus on agriculture, especially as a Black people. Before we talk about expanding the nation or building a nation or anything like that, we got to first be able to feed a nation. So agriculture is the key, and hydroponics, aquaponics, using solar energy. They got apparatuses now that literally pulls water out of the atmosphere and runs off of sun or biofuel. So I mean, there's so many avenues we could look into, just as the agriculture with hydroponics, and even defending the shit
Urban
with
gardens
through the RCs,
urban gardens and all that. Yeah, and Kamar he said something earlier. He said diversify your assets, and I keep saying Black people need to diversify their portfolios business wise, because look, shout out to you if you have a beauty salon or a barbershop or a nail shop, or that you're an entrepreneur. Shout out to you, but we need engineering firms, we need architecture firms, we need people who are like small engine repair shops, welding. Shout out to Eagle Eyes. Eagle Eyes does welding, like stuff that you can make money contributing to the reestablishment of our infrastructure. When I keep telling you, the money in terms of being employed over the next 10-12 years is going to be centered around infrastructure, rebuilding these bridges, redoing these highways. You got new technology now where the old street lights and the old, because first of all, they putting cameras everywhere. So if you know how to lay fiber optic cable, or there's so many different ways to make money that we're not telling our kids about, that they are. Like, we don't even tell kids that you could be a fucking master plumber and make a whole hell of a lot of money. You figure they're spending billions of dollars downtown right now building hotels and luxury apartments. Imagine being a plumber where they say, you got this building. That's a 3 or 4 year paycheck where you getting paid, right? Like, and making connections along the way, but we ain't involved. We're
or
not
even
involved.
HVAC, because as they get more server farms, they need ACs to keep them servers cool. So HVAC is big too.
It's always been big. We live in Wisconsin. How many people gonna call your ass when their heater go out in the winter? Come fix this goddamn heater. My hot water heater went out. Hey man, when I was a landlord, I know what they charge. I used to have to pay through the hoo-yah to get somebody to come out and do a hot water heater, or don't let that doggone furnace go out. Lord have mercy. They tell you $300 just to come. Like what?
Right.
Just like what? Mama Jenkins said tonight's show is definitely a lesson of learning for many. That's why it's important for us to share this show. I've been instilling in my great grandson about self-worth and learning about what you can do for yourself. That's why I'm harder on him than I was on my other grandson. Understandable. You know what? I feel like I apply some of that pressure on my son as well. Like, son, you got to realize what you are about to be facing. He's 17 years old. So I'm always trying to have these conversations with him about, hey man, your independent gene gonna have to kick in like Errol Flynn over the next few years, because you're gonna turn around and be like, I'm 24 goddamn years old.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I gonna do? I don't think enough of us ask ourselves that. Once I was able to get clear the city just for a minute when I was young, and I got to North Dakota and I sat my ass down and there was no sirens, and I didn't have to worry about which way my hat was turned when I went somewhere. I did have to worry about, some what they call them, some stormtroopers that was kind of at us. right? But some Gestapo type cops and security guards. But the first thing I said to myself is, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Because I know at this point I'm an adult, because mom said when she dropped me off, her and pop said, this is it. This is where you want to come. This is it. You flunk out, find your way home. And I was like, I don't even know where the hell I'm at. I'm about to go to class. But I started to think about what I'm gonna do with my life. Like, I'm like, I need to figure something out, man. I gotta have a plan. And we need to start making sure our young men know this we can't wait until they get in trouble. A lot of times when kids commit a crime, and I said guilty because I worked in juvenile justice for a long time. And this is part of the thing that made me disillusioned with it. We wait until these little young black males get in trouble. Then you give them a therapist. Then you give them a mentor. Then you give them a tracker. Then you got a care coordinator. Now we having meetings with your family and all of this. As soon as he turns 17, you get rid of all that and put him right back into the fire. And or you send him on to the adult system. And I started thinking, why are we being reactive with our kids instead of proactive? Why are we not grabbing our young men before they get a felony, saying, listen, man, for those of you who want to listen. And that's how I would always open up my statement. When I speak to youth, that's how I always open up my statement. I know some of y'all don't want to hear this. And for those of you who don't want to hear this, I will offer you two options. One, you could leave. Or number two, you can respect some other individual's right to hear it. That's all I ask. Right? And so, but I'm not trying to tell you nothing if you don't want to hear it. And then I'll always explain to them about checks and balances, consequences and repercussions, and understanding that at a certain point you get kind of scared. I remember being 17 thinking, damn, I'm gonna be 18 next year. What the fuck I'm gonna do? And it got kind of scary. Like, I gotta get some money. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna give me a car and a house. And it was overwhelming. So yeah, you just go out there and you try something and hope it work. My mom used to call it pissing in the wind. Yeah, you out there pissing in the wind. You trying to figure it out. So we need to get to our kids earlier. And that's really the only thing we can do, because there's no magical formula to saving these youngsters right now. I think a lot of kids, if they could see some sort of structure and consistency, they'd be okay. I think a lot of them go astray because they just can't find nothing that's consistent. They can't find anybody that they can depend on. Like, the adults in my life have fucking let me down time and time again. No, I'm not listening to you. Thank you. Keep your advice. I'm going to do this my way. I think that's where we are, where a lot of our young people are. So,
or they see adults struggling, and it's like, hey, look, how you going to tell me how to do this adult thing when I see you struggling as an adult, ain't got no money, relationship shitty.
Right. So I can be like you? I can be like you? I'm just trying to tell you, boy. I'm cool. I don't need you to tell me shit. You're right, bro. You're right. Let me see. AC said we need to go back to the trades. This white collar careers aren't paying like that anymore. A long time ago, somebody told me, they said, Kevin, you need to get out of social services because you can't make no money in that. You will never make no money in that. And I'm proud to say I've been able to raise my children. Of course, my wife has helped, but I've been able to be fortunate enough to make enough money to maintain my family and live a pretty good lifestyle working in social services. But I've always been working it for a purpose over a paycheck, right? It's always been a passion for me to work with my people and work with the community and help people. And so the fact that I can get compensated for it made it better. I wouldn't encourage somebody to get into this and say they doing this for the money. I'm going to get rich. I'm going to be a social worker. No. He wasn't ready. That's not how it works. You got to have a passion for it, and then you'll find, I'm pretty sure if somebody just said to Kamar, hey man, you can't get no money selling sea moss and herbs, because I know a dude who did it and he didn't make no money. But the fact that it was part of Kamar's passion made him more effective at what he did. Right. More research. He was more thorough. He was more meticulous. So it turned into something. Well, damn, I can maintain my baby, and man. So don't look for a profit. Look for passion. That's what I always tell young people. What do you really want to do? I want to be in the NBA. No. What do you want to do though? And basketball is sports athletics. That's just, that's just a short period. Unless you're gonna say, Kevin, even if I can't play, I want to coach. Then I say, okay, now you're on the right road. What do you want to do? Well, I want to motivate. Why do you want to coach? I want to motivate young people. I want to help young brothers that's in my same position. Now you found a passion. Now go do it. Because I guarantee you, if you put that in there, you're gonna be good at it.
I like to tell people your passion ain't got nothing to do with money.
Show down.
You know what I'm saying? Usually it's got something to do with helping somebody.
Yes, or improving some sort of situation. I want to make this better. I have a drive to. Yeah,
same thing. Yeah, you helping somebody. You know what I mean, by making a situation better.
Mm-hmm. And there's like even in science, like with STEM and stuff like that, there's kids who could say, "Hey, man, you know what? I was just driven to improve the processes of this or that, or I wanted to make a machine that made this work better. That's been my passion, and it can lead you down a successful path." Mama Jenkins said, my husband was a tool and die engineer, and now kids don't even know what the hell that is. KB, this lesson need to be taught in schools. KB, you got a rude awakening in North Dakota. This is why I stress the value of money and having common sense and making wise choices. You know what? I would say it was Mama Jenkins. I would say it was an awakening, but I wouldn't say it was rude. Right? Because I got a rude awakening in Milwaukee about the reality of the streets and how the streets really go. I got that as a youngster, just being out and about in the neighborhood. Rude awakening on how you had to conduct yourself. The first time you see one of your homeboys dead in a coffin as a teenager, it's a rude awakening. It wakes you. It should. It woke me right up. Like I remember seeing my cousin. I remember I can still see his body. I can still see his body. And I can still see some of my homeboys who not even out of high school yet, seeing them in a coffin. And I remember it was just like somebody yelling in my face. Saying, man, this shit is real. This ain't no game. This ain't no rap video. This ain't no rap song. This shit is real. So I got a rude awakening in that regard. But when I got to North Dakota, I got an awakening of it's so much more to this world to see if you allow yourself to see it. You can stay blind. You can keep the blinders on. You can have tunnel vision. You can say, man, I love the hood. I'm never leaving. This is all I know. The streets is all I know. That shit is cool. But if you say, you know what? I need to figure out what's out there. I need to know what's out there. Some of it's good. Some of it's bad. But it's all an experience, right? And so I got my eyes opened up there because I said, you know what? The world is bigger than the north side of Milwaukee. And it's not like I had never been out of Milwaukee. I just, go to Mississippi, go to Chicago, Detroit, where my family was, but on my own as an adult. And I realized, wait a minute. So I pretty much could do anything I want. That's the thing I start to understand in North Dakota for myself is, wait, I could pretty much be whatever I want. Right? I can determine my fate, right? It was like an aha moment, and my vision was never the same. After that, Mama Jenkins, she said that's what I meant. You were surrounded by white folks, and the experience was for real. Yes, ma'am, you are correct and 100% correct in that. Surrounded by what sister my aunt called them sun dodgers, and it was they world, it was they rules, right? Get right or go home, nigger boy, and took a lot of tolerance and a lot of patience, and I flunked some of the tests. That's a different show. I made the wrong move sometimes and almost jeopardized shit, but I can't say that I'm not grateful for the experience. I can't, and I'm never going back there. Like they put me in the Hall of Fame for football, and I didn't go back. They called me at my other school that I went to in Southwest Minnesota, and I met my wife there, and we both have never been back. We never going back to that shit again, but the experience while I was there was the shit. I can't lie. It was a great experience. That's why you go to college. You go to college for the experience. I can't tell people that enough because most people don't even go into the field that they study. Like people spend 4 years, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, and come out and be doing something totally different, right? It's the experience. It's about getting to learn how to survive on your own, be responsible, take care of your business, party responsibly, manage relationships. It's a whole kind of big ass mixture of things. And so that's why I've tried to get my kids to experience it. My daughter is a senior in her undergrad. And she's about to get a bachelor's degree in May, and my son is graduating from high school, and I'm hoping, and I don't know if his path will be, liberal arts education, but I know he can benefit. He will be able to benefit from at least having the experience to go off and see what it's like, because he may do like I did and fully embrace it. I had a 1.6 cum leaving King. People said that nigga will never make it in college. And lo and behold, right? I got there and said, I love this shit. This is fly. Like I can set my own shit up. Yeah, it was cool. So that's my little what Whitney Houston say? The children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. That's my little We Are the World moment. That's not Whitney Houston. What's the name of that song? The Greatest Love of All. She said, but you learned what was needed for you to succeed and survive. Yes, I did, Mama Jenkins, with some assistance from my mother who enforced accountability on me. No excuses. None. Oh, you want to flunk out? Come on home. Because they hiring in the factories. They were still hiring at factories here, right? So I was like, I'm not working at Peloton Steel. I'm not working at Falk. That's not me to be working no press for 9-10 hours. So I said, let me go and take my ass to English. Because I'm not trying to be. I dropped out one time and did the factory job for about 2 months. I worked in a crane factory. I said, no way. I'm going back to school. I'm not finna do this. What my brother called me a pencil jockey. That's what he called me nowadays. Man, you ain't worked hard in years. You ain't nothing but a goddamn pencil jockey. I was like, whatever, you call it what you want. I'm cool. So yeah, man, Outlaw Radio, the War Report. This is the only night we'll be on, so I want to give both of my co-hosts a chance to put whatever they want to put out there, give whatever message they want to put out there, talk about what they got coming up this weekend until we come back on Monday. So, Rail, what's on the mind of Rail?
Shit, just thinking about everything I'm trying to get up and going. I was sitting down the other day and talking to my lady, like, I didn't stop any of my businesses. I'm like, shit, I damn near, shit, once I get everything off the ground, I could damn near be like, shit, Johnson and Johnson or Procter and Gamble, because I got the hemp, I got the health and beauty, I got the books, I got the CBD, and I'm trying to see how I can legally get this wine cracking. So I've been looking into like liquor licenses and shit like that, and bartender licenses, so I can serve my wine and shit. So just thinking about how I can expand my empire to the point where I do have it to be an investor in my family's plans and shit like that. Because with that Jay-Z thing, we don't know that cousin. We don't know if that was the 5th cousin, 12th cousin. We don't know if he wanted, like, who won $4,800? What the fuck? Like, I don't know if he's trying
Right.
to grab.
What is you really finna do?
I don't know if he was trying to grab a pound. It's all he was trying to grab a pound.
The split.
It's not like he was trying to grab a pound. And then, like, even with that, even when you got money, you got to be careful who you get the money to, because if they do some shit unscrupulous with it, now you looked at as the godfather. You know what I'm saying? Because you done gave them some bread that they done got
Right.
off it.
We don't know that nigga lifestyle.
Criminal activities with. So I want to be in a position to help my family and be a blessing to my family. So I'm just sitting down and seeing what path I need to allocate all my time and energy to first. Because I think a lot of us who are entrepreneurs, we fuck around and spread ourselves too thin because we don't know which business idea is going to get us to the promised land. So, so I'm just working on identifying one to stick with and shoot until it's successful, and then pick up the other one.
Okay, that's what's up. Mr. Carter, I know you got a million arms and a million fingers, so you got a lot going on. What's on your mind? What you say? Hey man, I'm just been pontificating on this? What's on your mind?
What have I been pontificating on? Huh? Man, I just been focused on my everyday thing, man, keeping up with everything. Like Red was talking about all the different businesses. Well, I got a lot of different products. You know what I mean? And I was just talking to somebody the other day, when I first started doing this shit, first off, I never thought of it as a whole job. I mean, not a business. I just thought I'd be selling a few people some herbs and stuff who I knew. You know what I mean? But then, like, as I kept going, the different products grew. And, years ago, I never felt like it was time for me or I could hold a store down. You know what I mean? But then now, like I just said, I got all these products and like, I tell people now, like, especially people who do the same thing as I do, it's a lifestyle pretty much. Find out as many things that you can do out of your lifestyle that you could get paid from. You know what I mean? Like I wound up with all these products and then I got a store full of my products. You know what I mean? So like now, I mean, I'm winning every time somebody come to my store, So I was telling the talk. I don't know who, I forgot who I was talking to, but yeah, that's what I was talking about, and that's what's been on my mind a little bit, different little shits, or like how my mind. I've been thinking about like I'll be walking down the street. I'm walking down Brady Street the other day coming from Twisted Plants and like my mind wrap around like a whole business type of mindset. Like I'm looking at different restaurants and I start thinking about, is this restaurant in the right type of neighborhood? Or you know what I'm saying? I start thinking of different shit like this where my brain is starting to go, the shit that I never thought about before. Like, man, I could go on and on like Dion probably about where my mind be, man, and what I've been pontificating on. I could do this all night long too, but we ain't gonna do it. We ain't gonna do it, man. But I tell you what, y'all can pull up on me at the House of Vitality every day this week. Saturday, what's today? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 11 to 7, man. Y'all can pull up, come holler, get what you need. You know what I mean? Let's put a package together for you.
Mama Jenkins said, I'm off to Las Vegas. I'm going to have a little fun in the sun with some other folks. There you go. Little vacay, right? Little getaway. That's what's up, Mama Jenkins. You deserve it. You deserve it. Safe travels to you. I once again, I want people share the show. And there's archive shows on our YouTube page as well as my personal Facebook page. So I ask that you do that. I am in the process, like I said, working with Eagle Eyes, just to make what we do be presented in a better way. Hopefully, get more people to see it, more people to share it, more people to really. I say in the intro video, and you'll see it in the outro. I say, the people have to choose this for it to be the best thing. It doesn't matter if I say I'm the best. The people have to say it's the best. And I know a lot of people who are content creators or who talk and run their mouths think their opinions are what makes the world go around. But really, when you're doing something like this, it's about what the people say. It ain't about what you say. You have to get chosen, as they say. It has to be by choice, not force, right? That's an old adage. I just want people to really be aware. My whole passion is just I love to give people information that they don't have or that they've never heard before, or even introduce a perspective that they may have never considered before. The look on their face when they say, you know what? I never thought about that. Or they say, I didn't know that. Or for real, we say, you bullshit. That's what black people say. That's one of my passions, man. That's why I love helping people, and I love being an asset to my community, because God knows at one point I was a liability. And I'm proof that if I can get my shit right, anybody can. I tell young cats all the time, you're nowhere near as worse off as I was. And I'm not talking about because I came from a shitty family or because I came from a shitty neighborhood. I'm talking about because my mental was not where it should be. And I wasn't always processing the way I should have. But thank God I got some clarity and got some straightening, man. To close the show tonight, in honor of hip hop music, I like to quote Grandmaster Caz, who I listen to every morning on satellite radio, when he say, hip hop didn't invent anything. It reinvented everything. Y'all ponder on that, man. I will see y'all Monday. Peace and love. Listen, the only way this thing will be official is if the people choose it. So that means share the show.